Hey everyone, you're listening to the official podcast of 4playernetwork.com. Check us out at that address for everything you need to know about our community, monthly giveaways, and nightly live streams. You can even support us on Patreon at patreon.com/4player. And last but not least, you can catch the live recordings of these podcasts every single Thursday night on our Twitch channel. We hope to see you there. Enjoy.
The only two Pokemon games I've ever played are Blue and Snap. And
you chose two of the worst
Blue and
ones.
Snap. That was... I played Snap.
Yes. Snap was kind of interesting.
If by interesting you mean you get to take photos of Pokemon, therefore...
I mean...
Is it because it was
when
the
you're
closest...
12 years old, it's entertaining.
Is it because it was the
played it.
closest that Pokemon ever got to
To a
shooter?
3D? Or
To
no,
a shooter?
No, to a 3D,
First person.
you know, actual...
It was a first-person shooter.
Yeah,
It
just
was
with a camera.
Yeah.
I'm going hunting.
I also like photography.
Oh,
you know what? I think that's a good
And there was
note.
quite a bit of secrets and stuff to find in there.
there were.
Shut up, guys.
No, I agree.
We're not talking about Pokemon Snap on this podcast
Why not?
because there are so many other things to talk about on this podcast.
Why wasn't Pokemon Snap ever ported to the
Are you
Wii
not
U?
listening to me?
I don't know.
Why didn't they make like a spiritual successor on the Wii U?
I don't know.
That would have been fucking perfect.
Guys, I really just want to fucking know what this Pokemon is in the Switch.
Everyone else does too. But you know what, Nick?
What?
It's going to be more of the same.
Yep.
I don't care if I can play it on my Switch. I feel like that automatically elevates it,
If
makes
it's
it a
the
little more
same
interesting.
fucking game you've been playing since 1998, I'm like, no.
Do I still sound okay?
Wait, what?
Yes.
You never sounded okay.
Anyways,
I know.
I was intending to like roll straight
know.
into this podcast.
I knew where you were
ago.
going. I just wanted to.
I'm gonna keep all this in, but
Yeah,
the
no, that's
official
fine. I'll
the
keep it
official
in, too.
intro starts right.
Podcast start.
Yes, thank you, Crispy. Welcome to 4Player Podcast, episode 521. It is September 27th, 2017. My name is Nick Henderson. I am joined this evening by Crispy,
Hello. How's it going?
Nolan Hedstrom,
Hey, everybody.
who is maybe feeling a little under the weather.
A little bit.
Thank you for being here, though.
Yeah.
Thank you for pushing through.
Thanks for being here in your home.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us in your house.
I was thinking about doing the podcast from my bed. Y'all would have all had to join me.
Just like shout across the hall.
That would have been mildly uncomfortable. And rounding out the couch this evening is, of course, Christopher Davis.
Hello.
Filling in for Bradley, who is out
His
sick.
name's not Bradley.
I'm calling him Bradley. He's not here. I can call him whatever
He
I
can't
want.
defend himself.
Yeah.
Bradford.
Bradley, who's currently out sick with child.
Dad-itis.
A large parasite.
The 18-year flu.
A large money-sucking parasite
That
that
he's stuck with it for
that is
18 years.
Stuck with it for 18 years,
plus.
yeah. Anyways.
You gotta start
I don't
paying
even know
taxes for it at 13.
Oh my god. Welcome to the show, everybody. We have so much to talk about. So many games. Hob is out. We're going to talk about Steamworld Dig 2. We're going to talk about Metroid and all this crazy shit. Why are you laughing, Crispy?
I'm not.
Why are you laughing?
I'm not having any fun.
He's
I don't
just
even want to be
smiling.
here.
Why you got to bring him down?
I don't know. Before we get into that, of course, we do like to start the show here by reading feedback from our previous episode, where you lovely listeners can chime in on any conversations we have on the show by leaving us a comment at 4playernetwork.com on the post for this episode. If there's anything you want to chime in on tonight, leave us a comment and we'll read it next week on the show. Our first comment comes from That Legend JP. Great show, guys. Yeah,
Thank you.
great show.
Hey.
I'm
thank
glad
you.
Chris took a... Sorry, I can't read tonight. I'm glad Chris... I think he means Davis. He didn't write Davis, but I'm pretty sure
That's
he means
fine.
Davis.
I encourage it.
We encourage you to use Davis at all times.
Qualify that, Chris.
Or Chrissy D.
I'm glad Chris Davis took a look at SPV3. I thought it seemed weird at first, but after hearing him talk about it and seeing the footage, I am definitely going to be giving it a try. Look at you, Chris Davis, encouraging people to come out of their shells, to try.
I am what the publishers call an influencer.
Broadening those horizons.
Did you put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable?
Influencer. Influenza.
Yeah, that's that Halo. Is that only? You have to have Halo Collector's Edition for that?
No, the installer comes with the entirety of Halo on the PC. You just need to have a CD key for it and you're good to go.
Oh,
It installs the mod and the game.
What the hell? I'm sorry. People in chat are watching. Haste says I'm killing him. I don't know why I'm killing him. I'm so sorry.
Murderer.
Scarecrow says, someone mentioned Wonder Woman last week. We did, and it reminded me of a popcorn cast I was looking forward to. Sorry, that never happened. Although it's not too late. I'm going to skip down a little bit because he starts talking about Divinity 2. I've been enjoying Divinity Original Sin 2 also. Crispy mentioned that the game is split into 60, 60, 20. Wait, what? I think he means 60-20.
No, 140.
Oh, what?
It's 140%. There's that much game in the game.
I
don't think the math here is adding up. I'm so confused. I think you meant 60.
I don't think I said...
I think you meant 60-20-20.
Did I? I mean, I might have said 60-60-20. I don't remember what I said. Maybe I did. But what's the point?
I'm going to assume he meant 60-20-20 because that's how math works.
Maybe.
Anyways, Crispy mentioned the game is split into 60-20-20 for combat, exploration, and social stuff, respectively. I feel the main reason they made the Game Master mode was because they realized that as well. They want to allow players to tip that scale however they want, especially with the social aspects. With combat, you can avoid even using the game system and still use pen and paper style with the game serving mainly as visual aid. Seems like a really awesome alternative to Roll20. I'm excited for the possibility of seeing it in the future on the feed. What if we did an entire D&D session using Divinity?
It's funny you mentioned that.
He was waiting for this.
Because
Now's your chance.
I've been fucking around with the Game Master mode. In fact, in the last week since the podcast, I've probably done more Game Master mode than I have actual just campaign. And I'm trying to import or otherwise construct my campaign setting, the world of the Four Towers that we played in.
I thought it was 2 towers.
4 minus 4. Mine's twice as better. Twice as good.
Twice as better. Mine is twice as better. That's the name of the show tonight.
Good. It's 4 towers.
The twice as better show.
So I if you guys all want to get copies of Divinity Original Sin 2 and try out Game Master mode, I will be ready.
All right. Fair enough. You heard it here first. I love how
that Patreon money.
I like how first people in chat are still trying to figure out the math on that. On that, they're like 60, 20, 20. No, that's all wrong. People in chat are wrong. Fourth Horseman says, as someone interested in D&D but has never played it, all the comparisons to this in Divinity is receiving... Sorry. Let me start over. As someone interested in D&D but have never played it, all the comparisons this in Divinity is receiving is making me tempted to pick it up. However, hearing people talk about it also is a bit daunting. That's the one thing keeping me from purchasing it, actually. Crispy has gone and...
No, start over. You
Fuck! I cannot read
from
tonight.
the beginning. From the top. Hey, everybody, welcome to 4Player Podcast. This is episode 521.
No, I'm not starting over. We've already gone too far.
It's the only way you'll learn, Nick.
I'm starting the paragraph over. However, hearing people talk about it is also a bit daunting. That's the one thing keeping me from purchasing it. Crispy has went... Okay, that's his typo. Crispy went the most in-depth on it than any other podcast I've listened to, which is appreciated and helpful. But there's that doubt in my mind about how noob-friendly it is. Respond.
Okay, so... I think that Divinity Original Sin 2 is very welcoming to new players, but do not confuse that with clear or easy. Okay? Because it's not really either of those things. The game is very much based around just doing things and then seeing what happens. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. The save system...
sounds like life.
Yeah, exactly. The save system is such that you don't really have to worry as long as you're just like hitting F5 every 10 seconds. You'll be fine. But the game is... The game doesn't really tell you certain aspects about how different NPCs affect the world. For instance, I got into a little bit of trouble when I went to go see an NPC to wrap up 2 completely different quests that this one person happened to be involved in. And one of those quests involved the character I was doing the quest for wanting to kill that NPC. So I was like, okay, fine, go ahead, do your thing. She killed that NPC. And then later on, I found out there was like another 3 quests that all somehow tie into that guy. No. And now I'm kind of like, oh, fuck.
Yeah,
like,
you screwed yourself.
I don't really know how to... But things go awry like that all the time. but there's always ways to work around it. As I mentioned last week, the systems are such that you can, if you're creative, if you play your cards right, you can work around a lot of problems that might not be obvious.
Also, you can save scum.
Also, if you're interested in D&D, this is a great kind of primer to what you might expect from like the combat side of it. D&D very much works that same way, where you don't always have all the information you need to make the best choices, and you just kind of have to improvise. You know,
just kind of have to make your decisions and live with them.
But I wouldn't look at if you play this game to kind of scratch that itch. That is fucking great. This is a great game, and you should definitely play it. But don't let this make you stop looking for actual like D&D table play, because that shit really just can't be replicated by a video game.
It's just cool that they tried.
Yeah. No, and they've come way closer than anything else I've ever seen.
Gotcha. Thank you, Crispy. Haste. Sorry, I accidentally skipped over your comment. That was not intentional. My finger scrolled a little too far. Haste says, Crispy's PBJ... Why can't I read tonight?
Start over.
I'm starting over. Crispy's PB&J PSA made me laugh harder than I've laughed in a long while. Speaking of which, PBJ is truly enhanced when using toast and sliced bananas. You can trust me on this because I once made a waffle with mayonnaise and ketchup because there was no syrup. 10 out of 10.
Wait, no.
You die. You burn in hell, Haste.
Mayonnaise and ketchup?
Yeah.
First of all,
Mayonnaise and ketchup on a waffle?
is like mixing mayonnaise and ketchup somehow like supposed to be the near equivalent of maple syrup or something?
No.
Like,
No!
Because I don't think that's how that works.
But mayonnaise and ketchup will get you most of the way to a pretty good fry sauce.
I will say, if he had a waffle, mayonnaise and ketchup, a patty of beef, and then another waffle, I could see that.
Yeah. I mean, special sauce, basically.
Yeah.
It's like that Freddy's fry sauce.
I think this might be the most disgusting thing I've ever...
Nick, have you never eaten a hamburger with mayonnaise and ketchup on it?
I don't like mayonnaise.
You don't like mayonnaise, but you like things with mayonnaise in it.
I do?
I guarantee.
Probably. Maybe.
Yeah.
Wait. I feel like you're thinking of something specific. No?
I mean, I think mayonnaise is a pretty ubiquitous ingredient as far as a lot of
Sure.
like
Condiments and sauces.
and condiments and stuff that are very common.
Sure. I just don't like mayonnaise spread on bread.
Right.
How's that?
Well, that's not what he suggested.
What are your thoughts, Nolan, as far as the proper PB&J experience?
Crispy's mic is dead again?
No!
Wait, no, it's not.
Usually I like peanut butter and jelly.
Am I just talking too soft?
I don't
Oh,
understand
no,
the
it's
question.
dead. It's totally dead.
We had a very, very innocent question from the patrons last week, and it
Which question was it?
it came near. We nearly came to blows over how to make a proper
yeah.
PB&J.
Yeah. Peanut butter and jelly. We all agreed. You know what? Never mind. I'm not even.
No,
I'm
there
not,
was no agreeing.
I'm not opening the
whatsoever.
can of
Wait,
worms.
what did we not agree on?
I'm sure this will probably come up again.
I explained how to properly make a PB&J.
How do you probably make a PB&J with
and
your mic
everybody
off?
else.
How do you make a PB&J, Crispy?
Oh.
You tell me. I want your opinion.
You got to go back and watch last week's
Oh
episode.
yeah, Nolan wasn't here for the
Because it was
PB&J
like
conversation.
a whole thing. Basically, the key to proper PB&J construction is moisture barrier.
So you put peanut butter on both pieces and jelly in between?
Yes. Absolutely.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that or not doing that. I mean...
Way to take sides, Nolan.
What?
Yeah.
I
Way
mean,
to commit.
Honestly,
Fence
like...
sitters get hurt, Nolan.
It depends on how much you like peanut butter. If you're a big peanut butter fan, that's good because you
Why
get
are
a lot more peanut
eating
butter.
a PB&J if you don't like peanut butter?
I didn't say if you don't like peanut butter. Would you take a fistful of peanut butter and shove it into your
That
mouth?
is a bad example because yes, I would.
Wait, crunchy or not?
Okay, that was another part
I'll
of this
take what I
discussion.
can get. If I had to pick, I'd probably say smooth, but if it's crunchy, I ain't gonna kick it out of bed.
Have you ever had like extreme crunchy?
You should.
Just nuts.
Just peanuts?
just a can of peanuts.
No, I don't know. Like for me, I would say that I like the light crunchy, not too much, not too many bits, or smooth. Extra crunchy is kind of rare. I have tried.
I swear to God, extra crunchy just looks like it's like smooth peanut butter with just like actual peanuts.
Yeah,
Just,
I have tried the peanut butter on both sides as the moisture barrier.
Yeah.
And I think that makes more sense if you're taking this as a sandwich bag to go for
see,
lunch.
that's what we discussed because I told them last week that I don't do that. But whenever I make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, it's gone within 5 minutes.
Yeah,
of me
no,
making it.
exactly. When I make PB&J, like, it's gone before, like, the peanut butter's even been cleaned off the
See?
knife. Like,
See?
it's quick.
I knew there's a reason I lived with you for a while, Nolan.
Yeah,
Jesus.
that's true.
Come on.
But for me, I remember one of the weirdest experiences for me for PB&J. It wasn't PB&J. It was
We can't. We don't need to hear about.
PB&F. It was when we were in Boston staying with Sci-Fi, and her parents made us peanut butter and fluff sandwiches.
No,
And-
fluffernutters.
Yeah, it was peanut butter and marshmallow fluff instead of jelly.
That is like absolutely a thing. You've never heard of that?
It is. It was
No.
very rich,
Maybe
but it
that's
was
like a
good.
Northeastern,
No, it is a northeastern thing. Yeah.
That explains a lot.
fucking Texas.
Our last comment this evening comes from, and I'm glad I get to say this. Loves to spooge.
Who doesn't?
I mean,
That's Gamerback.
I guess yeah.
That's Gamerback.
Well, loves to spooge now, according to this. Great show, guys. Always love to see Carlos make an appearance, even if it was just a floating head.
Face more.
I don't know
like-
if you saw that.
was
No.
I did. I
Okay.
popped into chat for a little bit last. I think I commented. Yeah.
Glad to hear Crispy's enjoying Divinity 2. Hope he sees it through to the end. Get that money, Crispy. You already have a game.
Get that money.
Get that money. Oh, is that okay? Whatever. I don't
Because
know.
remember, Brad said that he would.
That's right. Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. There's yeah,
It was a contract.
yeah. That's
It was
happening.
written.
Crispy's gonna win some money. Then buy another copy of Destiny 2 and tweet the pic at Brad. That's funny. Also, it'd be neat to see Crispy and others try Divinity Original Sin 2 co-op.
Yep.
Yep. This is just shotgunning a lot of thoughts out here. 13 Sentinels hype. That's the
The mech game.
The new Vanillaware game.
Vanillaware game. Thank you. Really hope they show the meat of that game soon. Let me see some mech combat and on PB&Js. I like a nice grilled peanut butter sandwich myself with sugar sprinkles on the bread. Peanut butter sandwiches dipped in milk are great too. What the fuck? What? That I have never heard of that.
Wait, the grilled or
Grilled
the dipped in
peanut
milk?
butter. So I guess he
You ever put peanut butter on toast?
does he put the peanut butter on the does he put it
You
on
know what
toast?
I want
or
to
does he-
try? I want to try peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but the bread is French toast.
Oh.
Oh shit!
But my question: does he put the peanut butter on the bread and then put the bread in the toaster?
Yeah,
No.
probably like a pressed sandwich,
I guess so.
Interesting.
right?
With sugar.
Hold on, are we talking about like a George Foreman grill like that, or like in a toaster?
or,
Or
any
like the
sandwich panini maker.
Or
Okay,
just
so
the-
like a panini maker,
or
though.
just the
Sure.
toasters with the little mini oven toasters with the little door.
That's a toaster.
Hell,
Hold on, that makes completely different stuff.
No.
But
The one is a direct heat on the bread, whereas one is a indirect heat, which
but
toasts the bread.
you can
while the
make
other
grilled
one, like,
cheese
kind
with
of,
either one.
I
They're
guess.
just slightly different
If
kinds
you
of grilled
really,
cheese.
if you really wanted to do it and do it easy and cheap, just 2 cast iron skillets, heat it up, press together.
I thought you were gonna say 2 irons. Just
You could do that too. Why not? If you got some extra irons laying around your house,
yeah, why not? They're cheap.
We
you
just
got,
might.
You got a sandwich press.
Thank you for all your input from last week, guys. Thank you also for all the continued input on PB&Js. May the conversation continue into mini shows in the future. But let's jump right in. We have a lot of games to talk about tonight. I don't know where we want to start because there's so many. What's the newest thing? Hobb's the newest thing.
Yep, came out
So
yesterday.
let's start with Hob, the new game from Runic Games. Or you might know them as the guys who did Torchlight. Nolan, you played this on the feed last night, right? And while you were playing on the feed, I was playing it off the feed.
I'm about maybe 3 hours in, something like that. 3
Yeah,
and a
about
half.
2 hours in. So, how do you feel about Hob, Nolan?
So I was a little. I wasn't too excited. Like I wasn't like, oh my! I know
Like
everyone
before
else
it came
was.
out, or
Yeah,
like after playing it?
everyone else before.
By the way,
everyone else
just-
was like super hyped for Hob.
Just FYI, in this footage that I recorded, I die like a dumbass like 6 times.
Why didn't you just restart the footage?
Because I'm trying to get away from. I'm trying to get better at.
I died multiple times when I was
like,
casting this
so,
last
like,
night.
I didn't die like once for like almost the entire 2-hour session, and then I got to this footage and I started recording, and I fucking just like the stupidest mistakes. You'll see, it's pretty great.
Give us the truth.
Also, I fuck around with this for a little too long. You know?
So anyway, I wasn't like riding the hobnob slob train.
By the way,
before the game came out.
We played this PAX like 2 years ago,
And so, but I got a key for it, and I was like, oh yeah, I know everyone else loves it. So I started playing it, and holy shit, that first like 5 minutes, like, oh my god, like that was intense.
in terms of like, you talking about him like losing? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know if do we spoil that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like the core.
Losing his arm?
No, his virginity.
He loses his
Yes,
arm.
his arm.
He loses his arm in the game. And
I
he's-
only guess because he has a giant, unnaturally large arm.
Yes. He the character
Attached to his
the
body.
character loses his arm in the beginning of the game. It's weird. It gets like infected by this like weird plant, and then your like golem friend like.
Well, the whole point is like he gets touched, and like you can see the infection and spreading, and so the golem just runs up.
It's like The Walking Dead. He like pins him down, and just like cuts off his arm.
That's pretty
at the
intense.
source, which I was sitting there kind of like, oh my god, when that
Yeah.
happened. But then this game kind of proceeds to become. This is like a fucking.
Yeah.
Like if you're into like exploration.
This is, I mean, I think a good way to describe this would be like Bastion meets The Legend of Zelda. Like,
Yeah.
Maybe Link to the Past specifically.
It has the Bastion feel to it, but like I think Zelda is maybe more. The thing is, I don't know if it has like dungeons per se.
Well, no, so it's not dungeons. It's more like The Legend of Zelda overworld, where you're
Yeah.
running around exploring and you're solving some light puzzles.
It seems like the whole game is kind of like overworld of Zelda.
Yeah, no, it
and-
definitely is.
But you're solving puzzles all over the place throughout the entire open world.
Yep.
And it's like I was playing this for 2 hours last night, and I kept hitting points where I was just like, "How did they make this?"
No, the game is very intense. Like I'm very. Hold on, you open that door? Okay, good. There was just another guy in there.
Yes.
Because I killed that little robot before he could open that door.
Did you,
And I was-
Nolan? Did you kill it before it opened the door?
Yeah, and
Because
I was
didn't.
freaking out because I didn't know what was in there, and I thought I was missing something.
No, you were
Vicious
missing an ass
monster.
whooping, is what you were missing.
Good. And so I like every time like something happens, like you activate some mechanic, like not like a mechanic in the game, like literally some giant machine that you activate, and like the camera pans out and you see where you're probably gonna go.
Yeah.
It's like holy shit, like this is intense.
You finally, when they finally give you access to like a world map, and you get to actually kind of like pull back and see how big it is, like, and then you start thinking about just how tightly packed.
It is
It's
dense.
a dense fucking world, and like around every corner is like secrets and like, you know, secret passages, secret doors, secret ways of navigating.
And the game operates on that kind of Souls logic, to where if you see it out in the world, you can probably go to it. Right?
Yes.
Yes,
That-
absolutely.
that is the case.
But it's also like there's some like really cool stuff that like I feel like there would normally be like some kind of transition between areas.
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's
there's no
just,
loading screen.
But there's like no loading.
So there,
I mean,
there's
are
a couple.
few.
There's a couple when you go from certain areas, but they are few and far between.
But like some of my favorites, like I kept seeing like holes in the ground, and I could see through the holes into like a cave.
Yeah.
And then like I forgot what I ended up doing, but I ended up like ground pounding into an area, and you just shoot straight down, and suddenly you're in like an underground cavern, and there's like an entire area down there to explore and puzzles to solve, and you're going back and forth between that and then the up top, and you know, there's a lot of verticality too. You're constantly going, you know, high and low, and you're constantly unlocking new abilities, and and like
So that's the cool thing is it definitely you want to explore in this game. You want to find every secret
I
passage
think the
because
appeal of this game is like 100%
yeah,
explore.
but as you explore, you will find your secret areas, and you think it's just a device, and you open it and you get some green orbs, which are like your currency. But then it turns out, oh no, that's a new ability, just like randomly hidden somewhere in the world that you don't have to get. But if you get it, it's like, oh sweet, I got this new ability. Like, oh, I have a shield for my arm. I can turn my arm into a shield.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, I can do like I unlocked an ability last night that was teleport behind the enemy.
What?
Yeah.
What?
And so you like in combat.
You can get anime tropes?
Yeah, no, dude, we had like a half-hour conversation about that last night when I was casting. And what was the phrase? Someone has to remind me the phrase.
It's like, sorry about this kid or
Yeah,
something
no,
like that.
something like that. But there was there was another phrase. So someone in chat will know it because I kept saying it last night every time I did it. But yeah, no. So you get upgrades for your arm because you can like do a charge up attack with your arm and like fucking punch people. No, teleports behind you. Nothing personal, kid. Yeah. So last night, every time I would fight a guy and he would like do an attack and like be left open, I'd be like, I'd teleport behind. Nothing personal, kid, and just start slashing him.
That's awesome,
dude. It was fun.
You know what I love about this game? Like I thought at first, you know, because they give you new abilities, and then they start showing you how you can use them to like open new areas and stuff. And I was like, I thought it was going to be very handholdy, but like,
oh no,
after 1 or 2 times, like because it did it 2 or 3, maybe 2 or 3 times, it did like you'd walk up to a door and it'd say push square to like unlock this thing or like punch through this wall, and I was like, oh crap, is it going to be telling me that all the time? So I'm like, it's never like. You never get that sense of like discovering stuff on your own, but after 2 or 3 times, it stops telling.
Yeah, it is not super handheld.
It stops giving you the cues. So you literally like there have been several times that I've been stuck in like an area and I've been running around and then I just barely see like a wall that looks maybe a little different, and I just walk up to it and like I bet I can punch through this. And sure enough, you punch through it, whole new area.
And but yeah, so it's I think like I said, I think it does a good job about having this giant open world and kind of giving you very good context clues about what to do early on.
Yeah.
But then once again, it stops doing that. And I think the moment I encountered that mech, have you got to the little mech thing, the walker?
Yeah, I did that last night.
It's not as intense as you think.
There's a Gundam in it.
No, like so the game is all about running around and like exploring this I don't want to call it ancient, I don't really know, it's this big civilization and there's no people there, there's just lots of enemies, but everything is like some sort of machine or mechanic, and you have to reroute power to certain things, and I would, you know, reroute power to a device or something, and all of a sudden there's this like this weird platform, and I climb on top of it, and I interact with this orb on it, and all of a sudden the platform stands up and sprouts legs and starts fucking walking around.
And then you're controlling the thing.
Yeah, and you're walking around like fucking stomping on enemies and stuff. And you don't only use it to like, you know, stomp on enemies, you also use it as like temporary like...
It's like a giant key.
Yeah, it is, kind of, yeah. You use it as a key, you use it as a literally a platform to get between areas. Like, it's pretty intense.
Dude, it's so cool. And, like,
it's so interesting that the world itself is like mobile and
everything
editable.
moves. Yeah, everything.
Dude, I swear to God.
There's so many areas where like things will be like there will be nothing. There'll be this big crevasse that you can't get across, and then later on, all of a sudden, like you activate something and a giant piece just pops out of the ground or something like that. And like everything's like this right here, like moving platforms.
This whole game is like moving the world and shifting and changing the world, and it's just a very, like Chris Davis says, like very mobile world, which is really cool. But man, this has got to be. I mean, I've only played 2 hours of it so far, but like it feels honestly like one of the most brilliantly designed worlds.
No, they put a lot of time into
it. I literally like verbally said to myself like, how the fuck did they do this?
Yeah.
Like on multiple occasions last night, and that's just in the first 2 hours. I'm so excited to keep playing it. One thing I'm a little unsure about right now, I'm not really sure I follow what his like the character's motivation.
Well, yeah, you don't know. And that's the thing is early on when you first encounter that golem, he just kind of points.
Yeah,
he's just like, go that way.
So I mean, it kind of opens with like the golem like leading you into this world, and then it just things kind of happen from there. But I'm assuming it's probably going to give you more insight into what's supposed to be happening. It's very like silent
narrative, and you're
just there's no words, there's no like you start finding these pieces of swords, and you're like, what the fuck are these? And then you find this like forge, and you drop them in there, and all of a sudden, like, if you drop 3 and it pops out a new sword, I assume you've gotten the sword. I think you have to, the first one, but I found 2 more, and I'm like, I can't fucking wait to get the third one because I don't know what the next weapon's going to be that you get, but I'm excited for it.
This, at the rate it's going, I feel like by the end of this game, you're going to have so many abilities. It's just going to be fucking crazy.
So I did find a hidden area. It was actually, I almost missed it.
Yeah.
And I went in there and I found this big circular.
Like watch this shit when I die here. Oh.
This big circular, like almost, it looked like a door, and it had a sword shape on it.
Yeah.
And so the character like held the sword up, and it kind of sucked the sword into the wall and started rotating, and then opens up, and there's this tunnel, and I go through it, and once I'm inside, like there are these kind of puzzles where you have to take these like almost battery type things and pick them up and then set them in a holster, and that will activate something.
Quick, look at this. See that thing on the right? I thought that was connected.
Oh yeah, it's not.
Nope. It was in the background.
Perspective killed you.
Yeah, perspective.
Well, this actually in this part, I almost sequence broke the game. Because you know when you fall, it does that little scream, like, and so that happened to me. It fell, I did the scream, but then I think I landed in an electricity field.
Yeah.
And so it stopped me from dying. And so I was actually much farther into the game, and I was like, oh, fuck, did I screw myself? Because I don't need to activate something.
Shit.
But I was able to backtrack enough to get everything. But anyway, so I find this door,
go ahead.
and I go inside, and I think that was story. Like, there were no words, but it kind of showed this, like, this, what's the word I'm looking for? This a big picture on the wall that kind of started lighting up in certain, like a mural, but it lit up in certain areas at certain times and made this
highlight things.
Yeah, and I was like, I think this is kind of like it was very confusing because it was just shapes and weird things, but I think it was trying to a hint of story into the game.
Yeah, I think their goal in this game is to kind of tell a story and whatnot, but like without expressly ever telling you anything. I don't think there's actually any words or text or anything.
There's some text,
like
not
legible text.
No,
really.
there's like legible words. Yeah,
is there? Oh, maybe.
And when you're messing with your abilities and stuff.
Yeah, but like in the world, whenever he sees stuff written, it's always in this like weird language.
Yeah.
And like all the items that you collect to like increase your health or upgrade your swords, whatever.
Or
like,
your punch juice.
Your punch juice.
That's what we call it.
Yeah. They don't tell you what any of that does.
Yeah, no. So your arm, when you do your punch or you do your teleport behind, nothing personal, kid, all of that uses like a meter. And once again, there's no names or anything, but you have this blue meter, and you have your red meter is your health, blue meter is your like mana, I guess. I don't know.
Stamina, maybe.
Yeah, stamina.
Isn't punch juice just punch?
Fuck you. And so
God damn it, Crispy.
But yeah, so I've only actually upgraded my punch juice once and my health like maybe 1 or 2 times.
Yeah.
But yeah, every time I see one of the like either there's a plant that you get the health upgrades from, or a little like dead golem that you get the punch juice from. Anytime I see one off in the distance, I'm like, oh shit, how do I get to that? Like, I want to get it.
Look at that! I just jumped right off a cliff. Jumped right off a cliff.
Music's pretty good.
Music's pretty good. Combat's pretty good. I mean, combat's just kind of simple, but it's also kind of mimicking Dark Souls in a way, because you're using your shield to dodge. You take a lot of damage when you get hit, so it's very much...
Oh no, there are enemies that will one hit you.
Yeah.
Like, did you walk up to that one guy that had his like big like log stuck in like a hole in the ground? You walk up to him and he just flings it around and smacks you and you die.
Yeah. And
I'm like, oh well, that happened.
Yeah.
And so I actually died to him a couple times because he's a one-hit kill, and so you really have to learn his attacks so you can properly dodge them and not die in a single hit.
Yeah. But kind of the last thing I want to say this right now is that I think one of the things I like the most about this game is just how fucking good it feels to move around the world. Like just the way he like climbs up things and slides down walls and jumps and rolls and like ground pounds and like unlocks doors. It all has that very like he walks up to a key, like a keyhole, but the keyhole is shaped like his hand, and you see his hand like fits directly into a door. It's just kind of like very satisfying, design to it. Like everything just feels and looks really fucking cool in this game. Also, whenever you die and you come out of the spawn point, have you noticed he always has different animations? Like at first he'll be very confident when he comes rolling out of the spawn, but if you die enough, which as you can see I died here, he'll come out and he'll be like, oh, where is he? And he's like looking around like all nervous.
I don't think I died that many times. So.
Yeah, I died a lot during this footage, so yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. So what I've kind of gathered, it's a little story element from the game, is it seems like this is not a game of people.
Yeah.
But a world of people. It's a world of like golems.
Yeah.
And that's why all of the things you interact with are the shape of the golem hand, because this hand you have is a golem arm.
Yeah.
It's not like a random arm.
You are probably the odd one out. Like you're not.
And I was going somewhere with it. Oh yeah, and like how you get around in the world. So all those little things, you come up and you activate those, and that's a spawn point. But then you can find these like pneumatic fucking tubes, like you can use to fast travel around the world. That you go inside and it kind of shoots you down, and you pop up somewhere else. It's all really satisfying.
It's all
I see that thing. I never activated that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That
I
one
don't
right
even
there.
know what it does. I don't know how to use it yet.
Because yours was lit up, but mine wasn't. Because
watch.
You see this way? I didn't come this way, Nick. I fell into that electricity right in front of you.
Watch this bullshit here in a second, though. So I'm trying to navigate these electricity walls, right? So I grab this canister out of the thing, and I'm like, oh, okay. So you grab that, and then you have to carry it across the bridge over there. But if you saw like these two pieces come together to form the bridge in the middle, and they separate out, right? So I grab the canister, I step onto the platform, and I fall.
Oh, you fucking right in the middle.
I'm right in the middle.
You knew it was gonna split there.
It splits right down the middle. I was like, you son of a bitch. This game's tricky, man. This game's tricky. See, look, he comes out and he's all like, ooh, and he swings the sword around just in case there's any enemies around. It's cool.
That's cool.
It's cool.
I like it. I'm gonna play more of it.
I'm totally gonna play the shit out of this game.
Yeah.
This game is designed so fucking cool. Like, I can't wait to see what else this game does. great for anyone.
Highly
who's, like,
recommended to anyone
A lot
else.
of people seem to be drawing comparisons to like Link to the Past, but I think specifically it's like Link to the Past when you're out exploring the overworld.
Yes.
So if you're a fan of that, check out Hob. It's pretty damn cool. All right, let's move on to the other new game. Well, actually, yeah, I want to hear about Steamworld Dig.
Okay. 2 or 1?
2.
I can talk about 1.
I think we've talked about 1 quite a bit on
Okay.
the show. But this is the first SteamWorld game I'm giving serious thought to playing. Probably because it's on the Switch, and I think it just looks fucking gorgeous.
It does.
I was watching
especially
before the
compared to
show.
the first one. I actually booted up the first one last night because someone in chat, I was playing the game. Someone was talking about SteamWorld Dig and how it ended. And in this game, like, the point of this game is you're looking for Rusty, the main character from the first game.
Do I have to play the first one?
You don't have to, no.
Okay.
And someone was like, "Oh yeah, because in the first game this happened," and I was like, "I really." Oh God, Chris Davis, good job.
Oh no! This has never happened before.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The problem with XSplit right now is that it's got a bug to where I set all the settings and I click off and I got to go back and redo the settings because it completely forgets them. So
Gotcha.
Well, anyway, so you're looking for Rusty from the first game, and someone in chat was like, "Oh yeah, because blah 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 happened to Rusty," and I was like, I don't remember that. So I boot up the game, and I'm like, "Oh shit, I never finished the first one."
Oh, well, that would explain it.
And I don't know why I didn't finish it. Maybe other
I
games
thought
came
this was
out or
one of the
something.
games like SteamWorld Dig 1 was like one of those games that you got crazy addicted to.
No, I definitely did, and I played it a lot. I guess I just never finished it. I don't remember. I mean, I do know I finished SteamWorld Heist.
Oh yeah.
The sequel to
How was
SteamWorld
that?
Dig. Yeah, really good. Yeah. But anyway, so SteamWorld Dig 2 is similar to the first game in the series, but a lot of improvements graphically, obviously.
Dude, I think this game is like one of the most stunning looking. Like,
Dude, it's pretty good.
it's the best looking Dig Dug clone I've ever seen.
it is the best. It might be one of the best.
So people kept talking about Dig Dug last night.
Really?
Is Dig Dug even related to this?
No,
franchise? Okay.
hold on. First of all, I
was
was,
like, what are
talking
you
about
talking
how
about?
I think the first SteamWorld Dig
This is related
took
to Diglett, right? The
inspiration.
Pokemon?
Exactly, took inspiration from Miner Dig Deep, which was an Xbox Live indie game from 2010 or 2011, something like
Yeah.
that. Is when that game came out. If you never played it, I think they took off Xbox. I think they did away with indie, right? Xbox Live indie games.
I think so.
I think this year, I think Carlos was talking about that and them getting rid of them. If they didn't, or if somehow you have an Xbox 360, go
I do.
pay $1 for Miner Dig Deep. That game is fantastic. It like as opposed to this game where there's like a story and there's all this stuff. Literally, Miner Dig Deep is just about digging.
Wait, is that
And
game not
digging-
related to this?
No, but
This is getting confusing.
But I'm saying I think they got their inspiration for this from that.
Yeah.
It is very similar in that it is essentially just Miner Dig Deep, which is literally just a
Giant
a
cavern.
giant like cylinder in the ground, and or not even a cylinder, a giant like rectangle, and you just digging down, and you randomly will encounter gems, and you take those gems and you have to take them back up to the surface to sell them, to buy more equipment, to buy a better lantern, to buy a better pickaxe, to upgrade your pickaxe to a drill, to buy elevators that you can use, to buy ladders to increase the backpack size. And hold on.
But
So
why?
a Miner Dig Deep, every once in a while you'd hit a layer that you couldn't penetrate because your equipment wasn't good enough. So you'd have to hang out in the upper areas long enough to get enough money to buy the better equipment. Very simple. At the very end of that, there's just a giant ruby. Congratulations, you beat the game.
All that.
Yep.
Giant fucking ruby.
Yep. One of the best parts about Miner Dig Deep was when you died, because the little guy, if you got crushed or died or something, he would go, "Oh no," and then he dies. It was great. Anyway. SteamWorld Dig took that a little bit farther. You know, it adds a new mechanic to the game where it's like steampunk. There are like robots in the world, and they are steam powered. Like in
There's
this
combat.
yeah, there's combat. There's a wider variety of enemies. There's actually a story to the game. There are townsfolk you interact with in this town. So similar to that, in SteamWorld Dig 2, you now play the sister of Rusty. I can't remember her name. It's like Dorothy or something like that.
Yeah, it's Dorothy.
Dorothy. And so you're running around trying to find Rusty. And so you encounter this town. And, similar, you start with a pickaxe. It's very slow to pick through things. You have a backpack that only holds so much. And you can start upgrading stuff. Eventually you get like a power drill. I'm sorry, in this game you don't get a power drill. You get like a jackhammer fist. that like the cool thing about that is actually ties into the mechanics of the game is the jackhammer fist. You have to like start it up. Like it doesn't just when you punch, it doesn't do anything. You have to and then you can start going.
Yeah.
There's actually an ability you get later on that allows you to A, boot that up faster, and then B, another ability that allows that cooldown to take longer. So once you're up to like ramming speed, if you stop, it doesn't automatically go away. You have like a couple of seconds to maybe run across like a gap or something to get to another section that you want to fist to death.
I'm sorry, that escalated fast. What?
In this, there's also fucking like a hook shot, like a grappling hook that you can use to get around, which is extremely useful. You have a gun, and everything. All of your abilities, the fist and the gun, take water. And you'll see on the top left, I have 3 meters. There is a light meter, which is your lantern. If you stay underground too long exploring, it doesn't go like pitch black, but it's pretty hard to explore without light. And you have health, and then you have your water meter because you are like a steam powered robot. A lot of your stuff takes water, so you have to like jump into pits of water to kind of recharge those abilities.
Oh, that's what I saw, like little pits of.
Yeah.
I was like, that's odd.
And so, and then if you, unlike in SteamWorld, I want to say in Minor Dig Deep, I can't remember if it was like in SteamWorld. I think you had to like buy like health or something. I can't remember what it was, but in this, when you go back to the surface, you automatically get full health, full lantern, and full water. It fills it up for you.
But do you spawn back to? Because I'm assuming you're just digging straight down.
No, so that's the other difference. In this game, it is not just a big linear hole, and I don't know if I ever like focus on the map, but it's actually a very like a big labyrinth of certain areas that will tie to other areas that will lead back up, and there's like an overworld a little bit.
So it's kind of like digging into like a Metroid.
Kind of. No. It definitely. I'm sure once the map is completely full, it will look like a Metroid or a Castlevania or something map. It's very expansive. But the farther down you go, you find these tubes that will allow you to go back up to the surface without having to like backtrack all the way, which is very handy. I think I will say that this game does seem a little bit easier. Like they give you a lot more mechanics and things that make it easier to explore, but that can also to some people be less frustrating. Because there are more ways to have fun. So these are the upgrades. So you get these gems and stuff underground. You go up and you sell them to this guy. He gives you cash. You take that cash and you can buy upgrades for your pickaxe, for your backpack, so you can hold more. Also the ability to like hold more in each slot in your backpack, hold more of a type of gem, whatever.
So as like progresses, you can theoretically go farther and farther with each time you go.
Correct. You can spend more time underground because your backpack is larger, so you can carry more. Your lantern lasts longer. You have more health. And then this game introduces like cogs, and the cogs are modifiers for your abilities. Like there's a cog that will automatically make me dodge a falling rock onto me. And there's like I'm trying to remember. There's lots. There's cogs that make your lanterns larger, like the area of light it gives off. And that's what I was saying.
Are those like passive abilities that have cooldowns or something?
No, they don't have cooldowns. That's just literally a new ability. And so if you look on the top right of the screen, you have two icons or two indicators. You have my money, my current money, and then the number of cogs I have. And those cogs are just what I essentially think of them as like skill slots.
Yeah.
And when you're on the surface, you can rearrange those cogs whenever you want to say, hey, I want to take these skills with me when I go underground.
Gotcha.
And so I got one fucking yesterday that's amazing. It allows me to enter lava or acid for a short amount of time without taking damage, which is useful as fuck.
I bet you anything that ties pretty heavily into like how they design the world too. Right?
Definitely. The problem is I upgraded to that immediately after. Ooh, I just realized this area I couldn't get through right now, and I haven't been back here since I got my hook shot. I need to remember to go back there now. But I got that immediately after going through a giant lava area and taking so much fucking lava damage.
So I have a question. I see you kind of like digging here, and so it's all each time you swing your axe, whatever, you're digging through like a square.
Yep.
Right. but I see the squares filling in.
So
behind
that's unique to this area. This area has this kind of like plant life.
Okay.
That once you dig it, it will eventually kind of reform. That's not how most of the map works. Most of the map is either dirt or rock. There are certain pieces of dirt you can't pick through it with your pickaxe. You have to use like the jackhammer fist.
Yeah.
And I'm sure later on I'll encounter even like more difficult things. One of the upgrades I just recently got last night when I was playing was the ability to set my pickaxe on fire, which you use to solve some like certain puzzles and stuff. What else? Dude, this game, the music in this game is fantastic.
I was listening to the music before the show when you were playing it.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of Oxenfree, if anyone's familiar with the soundtrack for Oxenfree.
I like that sound.
That soundtrack's fantastic.
You said that the lantern is critical because you need to be able to see where you're going.
Correct.
Is there any time in the game in which it's advantageous to not have a lit lantern?
So far, no. There are certain areas like that one was pretty well lit without me even having my lantern. You will encounter a lot of see, here's
Is it like Fog of War though? Like when it's dark, like you can't see enemies, like they physically don't actually load on the screen.
Well, it's more of a look on like the top left of the screen. See how everything's dark, you can't see anything.
Yeah.
It's because I'm too far away. My lantern isn't giving enough light, and it's not until I get close that you can see it. And if you notice right now, my lantern is actually really dim. Like it is not full at all. Like I'm almost out of lantern.
And I can see your meter up in the top left.
And so every once in a while you have this little like well, I don't know the best way, and I don't know the best way to refer to her. This little like fucking source of light, and it's called her name is Fern, or him, I don't know, whatever.
We don't judge.
Finn, whatever, I don't care. This little like blue light with you, that kind of like talks to you about this world and stuff. And there is like I said, the story is pretty intense. Like it's you and these robots, and you're exploring this world, and there are all these earthquakes going on underground and blah blah blah, and then you find like people underground,
living underground.
Yeah, like people, not robots.
Like
and
like in The Descent,
kind of.
Like they're blind and they eat people.
Well, no, they're like nice people. Finn is the name.
Gurren Lagann.
Sure, why not? And like at first they're like, oh no, fucking attack, and they're like, wait, like we're not bad. No, you're not bad. Oh, we thought like robots were bad, and like no, I don't know. Like I'm really interested to see where the story goes.
That's cool. I'm giving some serious thought to picking this up on my Switch now that I'm almost done with Mario and Rabbids.
You're looking forward to getting anything on your Switch,
dude. I'm yeah. You know why?
Are you gonna play LA Noire on your Switch?
Maybe. Dude, you don't understand. Like, my night has turned into, like, when I go to bed at night, I sit in bed for, like, 30 minutes, play my Switch. Like, it's great.
Honestly, I wish I probably would have gotten this on my Switch just so I could, like, lay in bed and play this, because right now I can't.
Is, any boss fights in the game?
Yes, kind of. So, yeah, no, there are boss fights. I've done, I think, 2.
Golf Story comes out tomorrow.
I've done 2 boss fights so far. They weren't super intense. It was more of like the boss is attacking, so kind of dodge all its attacks. So the first one was this kind of floating robot thing, and you would dodge its attacks, and eventually it would kind of like run out of like, I don't want to say like stamina, but it would kind of run out of stamina and had to stop attacking for like a few seconds, and that was your chance to jump on its head and start whacking it with your pickaxe, because that's all I had at the time. And then I did a second boss last night that was this fucking like wizard, and he was like creating fire spells, and like he wherever you were standing, he would create a spell there, and it would take maybe like 2 seconds to actually form, and within 2 seconds at that spot 4 fireballs would shoot in the cardinal directions, and so whenever you saw it forming, you had to get out of there, and you had to kind of chase him down because he kept fucking warping around.
Are you like digging around the world when you're in
yeah,
fights?
no, you are, yeah.
That's
so
cool.
it was a pretty intense fight.
That was a good puzzle right there.
Yeah, no, that one's pretty good. This is an upgrade. You find these random things underground, these capsules that you go in, and they give you a permanent like upgrade, like a new ability.
The robot Dr. Wily?
Sure.
It's cool.
Like, I don't remember what I got right here. I got the what is it? Jackhammer. I just unlocked the jackhammer there. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, there's all these, and that's one thing I love about this compared to the last game. There are all these challenge rooms. Like you fucking like you can't dig 20 feet without finding a challenge room. A little facetious, but there's a lot of them. And the cool thing about them is they all have these like really unique puzzles and challenges. And one of the ones I did yesterday was the floor. It's called The Floor is Lava. And so the floor actually was not lava, but the floor was covered in switches. And if you hit a switch, it would close a door. And so you had to traverse this area without touching the floor or the ceiling, because some spots on the ceilings and walls had switches.
Shit.
To keep the door open, so you could unlock the secret. And the thing was, as soon as I got to the very end, I got it, and there was another thing past that like secret I got. And I think it was like a cog or something, but there's an artifact, and there are these artifacts that are all kind of they make references to a lot of other indie games.
Yeah.
Like I found like a Splunky like book or something like that, and I found,
And these are all these challenge rooms are like kind of built into the world naturally.
yes, you just find them randomly. But anyway, as soon as I got to the end, it was like, hey, do you want this artifact? Well, then you got to get through this whole area. The area is split up into like 4 sections, and once you get through one section, it doesn't really matter if you touch a switch, because it's not that you've already got past that door. But anyway, at the end, it was like, oh, you have to get through this entire section without touching a single switch, the whole section. And I was like, that shouldn't be too bad. And so I get through the entire thing, and right as I'm about to get to like the end, I touch a switch, and I'm like, all right, I got this. It took me like 20 more tries after that. It just sucks because I was right, because what the last section, you had to use your hook shot to fly across like a gap.
Yeah.
And how your hook shot works is, as soon as you hook something, and you will start rocketing towards it until you let go.
Yeah.
And I let go just like a second too early, which made me so mad, because
Timing
Prince
based.
of the Universe was in chat talking about how he had such a frustrating time with that section. I was like, oh, it's not that bad.
And then it
took me
makes
like
you
20
think about it,
tries.
and then you start fucking up.
Yep.
Thanks, Prince of the Universe.
But it's good. I'm really enjoying it. This is another
Dude,
game that
I'm
I'm going to play more. Like I said, I wish I would have gotten it on my Switch so I could do it on the go,
Yeah.
or like in bed or whatever. But yeah, whatever.
Looks fucking great though.
Yep.
I'm definitely gonna pick it up here soon, I think. Hey, how much was it? I don't even.
$20.
$20? That's
Totally
it?
worth it. Fucking a great price. I don't know how long it is, but I've played it for like 4 hours now, and that's already worth $20 to me.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
So before we go on break, I figure we should knock out maybe some of the smaller stuff that we've played instead of going right into the next big one. So anything, Crispy, is there anything you've been playing?
I think some Divinity Original Sin 2.
Nothing, you've been playing more Divinity 2?
I mean, again, I've been messing more around with GM mode than I have with.
I think your mic's dead again. Or maybe not.
I've been playing more GM mode than I have.
You just gotta get
regular
right
mode.
up in it, Crispy.
I'll just shove the fruit in my mouth.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Do it.
Don't do that.
Shove it right in there.
No, guys, no.
Yes.
This is not Crispy's microphone, because we have replaced the microphone. We have replaced the cable. The only thing we haven't replaced yet is
Have we tried replacing Crispy?
that joke was made last
Damn
week.
it!
Sorry,
Damn
Nolan.
You already did that, yeah.
Yeah, that was good try though. Good try.
Hello.
Much better. Sorry.
I've only been messing around with the DM mode
Yeah.
and playing Destiny.
What news do you bring from Destiny Land?
Not much. They put the PvP factions live this week. So Dead Orbit, new Future War Cult, and New Monarchy are all back. Just more tokens to collect, more specialized gear to earn.
Still
It's kinda
enjoying the
cool.
hell out of it though.
Yeah, still
Are
good.
you still rolling with
good time.
Carlos at all, or
Yeah,
nice?
every once in a while, rounding up, just surpassed 280. So I'm ready to just start doing some raiding.
I forgot where I saw somebody say something about I guess they just released a new raid, or like put out a new raid or something within Destiny. They said like that particular raid is some of the best content that Bungie's ever done.
Oh, wow.
I'd take that with a grain of salt. I don't know what the context was necessarily, but it caught my attention. So
Yeah, I mean
some
the raids are huge.
do some raiding and report back.
I will if I ever have like 6 consecutive hours to put together. I will try.
Because that's how long they can take, yeah.
Jesus,
They're crazy. They are crazy.
So since last week, we talked about Dishonored, Death of the Outsider last week. Since last week, I have finished it. In fact, I finished it on the feed. I spent 16 hours in that DLC. It is not DLC. It's a standalone thing. And I wasn't really planning on talking about it again, because obviously we talked about Dishonored 2, we talked about the Death of the Outsider, and
You
everything
gotta
that's
talk
new.
about that third level,
But
though.
I gotta say, playing through Death of the Outsider, which kind of unofficially serves as like, if not the the finale or conclusion of Dishonored as a franchise. It at least kind of serves as the stopping point before like the series goes on some kind of hiatus, I guess. I doubt we'll see Dishonored for a while.
Probably not.
This content is fucking excellent. And you're right, Chris Davis. That third mission, so Dishonored 2 has some of the most mind-blowing missions I've ever played, I think, in an action video, stealth video game for sure. Of course, the Clockwork Mansion, and then there's one other one that if you've played the game, you know what I'm talking about. And I came into this thinking, there's no way there's going to really be anything that compares to it. And in a way, it doesn't really, because the reason those levels were so interesting were strictly because they were so unconventional. The maps are shifting and moving, and you're manipulating. In one of them, you're manipulating time, kind of like in Titanfall 2, that kind of stuff. And they don't do anything like that in this. But this expansion to Dishonored 2, Mission 3, the bank heist, has probably one of the most intricate, well-designed, basic missions, like nothing special or supernatural about it at all. Just you're breaking into a bank to steal something. It is so incredible. Your amount of options, the ways you can. Like, I played the entire mission and I made a choice to do something. I think Chris Davis probably knows what I'm talking about. I made a choice to do something. It has to do with the vents, the air vents. Did that. I got through the entire mission, and then I thought to myself, "Holy fuck! If I hadn't done this, I can't even imagine playing through this mission if I hadn't done that." But you totally can. It was just one of those moments. I can't stress enough how great this expansion, especially for the price. It's $30. So if anyone out there is like a Dishonored fan and has not played this, I think it is well worth the time and the money and effort to put into it. It also I think had what I didn't know what to expect going into it, because it's supposed to wrap up the story and the whole thing with the outsider, and I was like, they could fumble that. And they give you a pretty clear choice at the end, and I was pretty satisfied with the way that story ran. It felt very satisfying as like a conclusion to the story that started in Dishonored 1.
And it has some very interesting implications for what would happen if they did a third game.
Yes. And I think we'll see Dishonored again, but I have a feeling it's probably going to be like 4 years or something before we see
I don't
Dishonored.
mind. I mean, they've got to work on
I don't mind
Prey
waiting
2.
at all.
They've got to work on...
I mean, also, just look at...
I think they're going to call Prey 2 Prey 2.
No.
I think they're going to call it Pray Tell.
Oh, God. But...
Did you notice the Prey Easter egg in there?
Yeah, you find Morgan Yu's bank box, right?
Yeah, a safety deposit box.
He has a safety deposit box in the bank. It says Morgan Yu on it. I was like, clever. I like that. But yeah, this game is totally awesome. Does some really cool stuff with power. We talked about it a lot last week, so if you want more information on that,
I guess
listen
my
to
only
that,
complaint from the levels after the bank heist is that they're a little bit more linear.
The second one's not the one directly after the bank heist, the conservatory, not linear at all.
Well, no,
but also that is a return to
it's a rehash level, but
it's a location that you went to in Dishonored 2. But it's also cool to see what's transpired and how it's changed since the events of Dishonored 2.
Yeah, and
you actually go through it in a totally different way, so that's pretty cool.
But I'm talking about more specifically the 5th level, I guess.
Yeah, the final levels. But it does some cool, interesting shit there.
It really does.
Yeah, dude, this game is fucking. I fucking love Dishonored.
I do want to have a discussion with you. We don't have to do it here, but I do want to have a discussion on how you did the vault.
Okay. Yeah.
Because the vault, there's so many options to
do.
Dude,
you can. Oh my god, this isn't. You can go. So they have this giant fucking vault, right, with a huge door with like 6 combination locks, whatever.
Designed by Jendosh, the guy who made the Clockwork Soldiers.
Yeah. So
you know it's intricate as
you can do all kinds of crazy shit, but like the craziest thing is I found this after I actually got into the vault and I was on my way out and I discovered this. You can fucking like yank the floor off. You can drop the fucking vault through like 5 levels. Like it's just just comes crashing through the. I didn't do that obviously because I had already made my decision. But like when I realized you could do that, I was like, oh my god, I wish I had done that just for shits and giggles because it would have been awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. Dishonored 2, Death of the Outsiders, fucking fantastic, well worth it. But that's all I really need to say about it, because we did talk about it at length last week. And if you watch me play it, it's pretty fucking cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and say let's take a quick break
Okay.
because we have another new game to talk about. Nolan's been playing a game that I'm actually gonna start tomorrow.
I 100%ed this game.
Holy fuck! We'll talk about Metroid: Samus Returns, which we have not yet had a chance to talk about on the show. So we'll do that, and we'll answer some questions from our patrons. I don't think we're gonna really talk much. We're not gonna really do an official news segment this week. It's been kind of slow, but we'll answer some questions from our supporters on Patreon when we come back from this break. Don't go anywhere.
Community is a good show. If you haven't seen it, it's fun.
So good. I never saw the first season, but I saw all the other ones.
Why would you
The
skip
first season is like, in many ways, the best season.
Really?
Kind of.
I was
don't
always
know.
told like the second season was the best.
I always
I don't
told
know.
season
They're
6
all
was
so
the best.
different. They're all so different.
Well, you can't be more than
Season
wrong.
6, in certain ways, season 6 is the Yahoo season, and in certain ways,
The Yahoo season?
it's the
It was
best
only
season.
on Yahoo.
Yeah, it was
Because it
picked
doesn't
up
have
by
Chevy
Yahoo.
Chase. That's one reason.
I thought you were using that as
In,
like a
Or-
descriptor.
in certain
uh,
respects, it was the best season.
It didn't have Chevy Chase and it didn't have what's
What's his name? What's his name? How
Donald-
come you can't remember
Donald
his name?
Glover.
It didn't have
yeah.
Donald Glover, and it also didn't have Shirley.
Yeah, it doesn't have Shirley.
It's like half the cast was fucking gone. So.
Yeah,
Didn't
they
replace
replaced Shirley.
with, what's his face?
So Chang was
Keith,
part of it. Keith, Keith David
Keith David, yeah.
was on, and he was great. Keith
Dude,
David
I
was
love
awesome.
Keith David.
And they had a new character named.
He's on a lot of Rick and Morty. Keith David is.
He's on a lot of everything.
Yeah.
He does a lot of voice acting.
John Goodman's episodes in that were really, really good.
All right, welcome back to the show. I'm just kidding. But are we ready?
I guess.
I think the D&D episode is one of my favorites.
That's the
Which
only
one? The
There were
first one's
multiple.
pretty good, but then there's another one with David Cross,
Oh yeah.
where he
I forgot
plays
about that.
fucking Hickey's son.
Yeah.
It was like Riggs Die Hard and Joseph
Yeah.
Gordon Die Hard.
the only episode of the Community I've ever seen
talking
is
about
the
the
first
first one.
D&D
Yeah.
episode.
With the sword
With
of
Brutalitops.
Yeah, brutality, yeah.
All right.
Shit. Sorry. I really like that show.
It's a great show. Welcome back. Do you know what else is a great show?
What's that?
This show.
It's pretty good. This show's pretty good.
It's all right. It's some people's second favorite podcast, I hear.
At least one person said that.
At least one. We still have. I want to. Nolan,
What's up?
you played a game that I actually intend to start tomorrow. I wish I had played it so I could talk about it with you, but I haven't.
Okay.
We haven't talked about this yet.
Nope.
Let's talk about Metroid. Samus Returns.
Is it worth it?
Samus.
Mercury
Was it worth it?
Steam. Mercury Steam.
Was it worth it? Is Metroid the future?
I mean, Metroid's definitely the past.
Yeah.
It's our history.
Is it?
Yeah. Metroid's been out for a long time.
It's our
Nick.
heritage.
Oh.
It's our.
I misunderstood. Hey,
But will it be our legacy?
So Metroid Samus Returns, really fucking good game.
okay, fantastic. It's all you heard it here first.
There you go.
All right.
And
Next
that's the
game.
podcast.
Next game. oh my god.
damn it,
Nick!
Chris Davis.
Me?
God
I don't know why it does
damn
that. I don't know why it does.
Oh
Sorry.
my god. That was not
You're
me.
good. You're good.
So anyway, now that train's being
Some
derailed-
people
I
say
don't know
this
why
game.
we didn't mute the TV in the first place.
I mean, I just did.
Some people say this game looks like butt. How do you
So-
feel about that?
Yeah,
Looks like that?
but in a good way, like a Samus butt.
Like nice tight butt.
Yeah,
Hey guys, can we not talk about butts? I'm
Getting all
fully
boned up.
erect.
standing on end.
But anyway, so first off, I will say
Keeping his hand
I
over
started
his crotch,
I started this
crossing his legs.
this game on the stream,
Yep.
and I guess due to my stream setup, my 3DS was kind of close to my face.
Yep.
And the 3D looked really bad. Turns out all I needed to do was pull the DS a little bit farther away from my face. 3D looks
God,
fucking
this
great.
looks like garbage, and you pull back. Oh wait, there now it looks great.
So I actually played a large portion of this game in 3D. Not all. There were times when I was laying in bed, and that kind of made things awkward to play in 3D. But anytime, like when I took this on my trip to Vegas and San Diego, and like through all 4 plane rides, I played this game.
I'm playing it on a plane tomorrow.
Nice. It's great. I will say one thing: the music is not good enough in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like the traditional, I don't know the name of the song, but the Samus theme, like a
Is it? Do we know? Is it a recreation of the original Samus or Metroid 2 music, or is it like original?
I'm
scores?
not sure. But I just don't think that original Metroid music is in there enough. That's
Yeah.
the one thing I'll say. But first off, I do want to say that this right here, what you're seeing, is actually me playing the game in like hard mode or like new game plus mode.
Yeah.
I don't want to say new game plus because you don't start. You essentially restart the game, but in hard mode. Enemies take more damage.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Blah blah blah.
Oh, also, just real quick, I think before we get too far into it, I'm sure most people listening to this show are familiar with our history with Metroid or kind of
Certain
the
people's history.
the baggage that this game might have
with certain people
going into
that are
it.
not here.
Yeah, I mean Brad's not here, but when this
It's
game,
not so much this game as so much who did.
yeah, I mean
develop the game.
it was
but-
announced. It was announced at E3 this year, and we all got excited when it was announced, and then they announced after that it was being developed by Mercury Steam, which
Yep.
we have a history of
It was
not
Whiplash.
being huge.
Is it-
yeah.
is it-
Whiplash is a good way of describing it.
Is it just me, or does Samus have some hips in this game?
She's got hips.
She's got hips.
And a small head.
And
She's
they
got a
don't
very
lie.
very small head.
What's up with that?
Well, it's not like it's like those shoulder pads go above her shoulder, like
Yeah.
up to her neck. You know what I'm saying? It's the head's kind of like
Yeah.
sunk down into
The
the,
head's
suit.
the head's actually normal size. It's just the shoulder pads that
Also,
are
does
enormous.
it really matter? I mean,
Yeah.
this is a game in which she can curl herself up into a ball and jump around.
And that
Don't be that guy, Chris Davis.
just saying.
Don't be that guy.
Well, anyway,
How'd she do that?
Samus Returns.
Nobody cares.
Really good game. I think it does a good job of spreading out abilities. It's a good Metroidvania game.
yeah, I don't know. I guess I never really knew what was specifically different about Metroid 2 versus Metroid. I feel like don't people usually say Metroid 2 is kind of like the odd duck in,
correct. They do.
in the series?
I've never played it.
Yeah.
Did
Did anybody here play AM2R?
Brad did. I'd always meant to, but I have too many fucking games to play.
Yep.
So a couple things I'll say about this game. Your goal is to destroy all of the Metroids that are on this planet.
Yep.
And you'll see on the bottom, like right around here-ish, somewhere, there's like a counter for how many Metroids are left. Like, oh, it starts at like 40.
Oh, so like the entire game you're like hunting the Metroids
Yes.
and you actually see a physical counter of
Yes,
how many are
of
left.
how many are left?
Are they all like boss fights or are they
Kind of. They're also a lot of them are similar to this, and that's what I'll say. Is the problem is the boss fights get a little samey.
Yeah.
So it starts off with that variant. It's just like that little guy, and he swoops down and attacks, and then eventually he'll be like an electric version of that. And if he's electrified, you can't hit him.
Yeah.
So you have to wait till he's unelectrified, and then there's a fire version, and then there's like
the usual suspects.
yeah. But then so it does eventually change, and some of the bosses like become a little more different. The creature style changes a couple of times.
Or does their attack pattern change?
A little bit. But the problem is, like I said, I think it's just a little too samey, the boss fights.
Yeah.
Towards the end, they become actually pretty intense and unique. But in my opinion, it was a little too late, kind of. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed the game. I just wish they would have
You did
maybe...
100% this game.
Yeah, I did 100% the game, just because the game does a very good job of letting you know where things are. You have you saw me do it once earlier. There's like this pulse you can send out that will highlight upgrades that are near you.
Yeah.
It will also like highlight things you can interact with.
How long did it take you to 100%? It's
13 hours. 13
That's
and
not
a
bad.
half.
I mean, I guess this is on the shorter side for a Metroid. Well, I don't know. How long did it take us to finish Super Metroid, Crispy? I can't remember.
I mean, it was like 8 to 12 hours, something like
Okay,
that.
I guess that's pretty
wasn't-
par for the course then for
But
the series.
And a lot of that was just, like yelling and smashing keyboards.
Yeah.
One of the unique things in this game is that you see me doing it a few times, and they showed it off when they first showed the game, is that counter ability.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty much necessary. You don't have to do it. That was me using that pulse ability.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it, but it makes your life a whole lot easier. If any enemy is ever charging at you and you counter with the correct timing, they instantly get knocked back, and any smaller enemy will die from a single shot from your weapon if you've just countered them.
Yeah.
This is a
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
and judging by how much you're using it in the footage, that seems to be a pretty big addition.
no, it is, and like I said, it's almost imperative in boss fights.
Yeah.
You can technically defeat the bosses without using it by using missiles on certain parts of their bodies, but it's kind of hard to do. And don't get me wrong, the only reason I'm doing it so well is because I played this game for like 13 hours beforehand. Early on, the timing gets a little tricky, and it's also different for each enemy type because they attack at different like speeds, and they use and so it takes a little while to get used to it. But towards the end of the game, you fucking like master it pretty much.
So I have a question. So about the Metroid, since I didn't know about the whole hunting down the Metroids thing, are any of them optional, or are they all part of the main story?
The goal is to kill every Metroid.
Okay, and that's the only way to like beat the game, quote unquote. Okay.
The final Metroid is a pretty intense. The final like fight is pretty intense. But there actually is another fight after that, which I won't spoil, but is actually a pretty good fight.
Yeah, I've heard people are kind of thinking it defines what Metroid's going to be from now on.
Potentially, yeah, I could see that.
Did they say who's developing that Metroid Prime 4?
They have not.
I think they said it was an internal.
It's an internal Nintendo team. Sorry, yes, that's all they've said. It's a new team.
Like,
it's not Mercury's team.
What if Mercury's team was
they're not outsourcing it.
Yeah, no, they're not. So
that would be like Brad's worst nightmare.
Yeah, but that's also this is a remake of an old Metroid.
Yeah.
they're not gonna outsource a brand new Metroid.
The little hip move she just did.
And also, when they're remaking a Game Boy game from 1990. I mean,
the 3D on scenes like this is really good,
dude. I know Brad was on Twitter and he was talking about how he was playing it in 2D and then he switched to 3D and was like, holy shit!
It does make quite a difference.
It's just good because like, if they were gonna, the fact that they decided to put it on the 3DS instead of the Switch, like I feel like all the 3DS games that have been coming out in the past year or so, none of them have really capitalized on the 3D. It's like they just got over the
the 3D is kind of hard to do, and I will even say in this game, you have to be looking at it straight on. You can't be at any kind of angle. You have to be a certain distance from your face.
Were you playing with the new 3DS?
I don't have a new 3DS.
So the new 3DS, the 3D is
I know
it
better. Tracks your eyes. I know. So I'm sure on the new 3DS it's probably a lot better, but I don't have one.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, like I said, 13 hours about to beat it. I definitely had a good time. Crispy's looking at her hips, I guess.
Yeah, I was just proving a point today.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Are there any benefits to the new game or plus mode?
Not really. It just makes the enemies more difficult, I guess, as a challenge. But so the upgrades are really good. I think they early on they start giving them you pretty fast. Like upgrade after upgrade, like right away, and then later on they spread them out a little better. But you get stuff early on, like you get like the charge beam, and you get the morph ball, and then you get the ability to do the bomb during the morph ball, and then you get the jump, and then you get the spider ball, which lets you climb on walls, and then you get the.
And this footage that you're playing right now, this is like they take away all your abilities. At the beginning,
this is
right?
New Game Plus. I just started. Yeah. This is like Nick. You're going to be doing this when you start the game. But,
wonderful. You're spoiling my plane ride tomorrow.
Yeah, I am. And then you get the ice beam, and then you get a fucking like Samus' grappling hook.
Yeah.
And then you get like the ability to shoot your beam through walls, which is fucking phenomenal once you finally get that, because it's a lot easier to like kind of like hit enemies when they're behind something so they can't attack you. And I don't know, other stuff. One thing I will say to anybody who plays this game, because I think it does a bad job of explaining it, is once you have the spider ball and the power bomb, you can do an ability that where when you plant a bomb and you're on top of it, you'll jump.
Yeah.
If you're in the spider ball form, and you do a power bomb, it will like rocket you across the screen, and you will just keep going in whatever direction you're aiming until you hit a wall.
Yeah.
And that's used to solve some late game, not like puzzles, like it's all like unnecessary exploration, like items, like an upgrade for your Aeon tank, which is your ability.
But don't you need that to 100% it?
Yeah, you need it to 100% it, but it doesn't tell you that. But yeah, so like the abilities are like you have the scan that scans around you. You have like a shield ability, which is actually really cool. So you take less damage. You take no damage when you have your shield on.
What?
But it uses a lot of your like Aeon meter. And when you have the shield on, you also do more damage when you melee enemies. You have the one that slows down time. That's a really cool ability.
Yeah.
And then one that like it turns your like gun into like a machine gun. Like you shoot a shit ton of bullets at a time. But they all use your Aeon gauge, which is that little yellow gauge. Yeah, no, in hard mode, you take a lot of damage.
That's beautiful. That was a beautiful death
and it's fair to
animation.
assume that almost all the abilities in the game are necessary to traverse the
Oh, hell
further
yeah.
environment.
No, yeah. Well, mainly just because a lot of doors, to get through this door, you need this ability. And so it's very... And one of the cool things is, this being on a 3DS, is you have a map that you can zoom in on, and you can use a stylus to set... markers. They give you a bunch of different color markers.
Yeah.
So anytime I came across something that I couldn't interact with, I'm like, oh, this door is green. I'm going to put a green marker right here.
Oh, that's cool.
So I remember when I get an ability that lets me unlock green doors to come back here, which is really handy when it came to backtracking to get some things I missed.
I wonder how this game is performing, like, sales-wise.
Hopefully well. I will say that I didn't need 100% it to beat the final boss, but I will say I'm glad I did, just because it gives you more health, because when you're first fighting a boss, like, learning their moves takes some time. They do a lot of damage, and there are some of the later bosses were taking away almost a whole, like, full, like, because you have 99 health per, like, little gauge.
Yeah.
And I had, like, I don't know, like 9 or 10 gauges, and sometimes some of those hits were taking an entire gauge away in like a single hit.
Yeah.
And so you had to be really careful and like you learn the proper way to dodge their attacks. But definitely worth a while. I'm glad I played it. Got some good use out of my 3DS for once. For a while.
I'm playing Metroid this will be my third Metroid game after Metroid Prime and Super Metroid, so I'm kind of playing it all, kind of jumping all over the place, but I'm looking forward to it. It looks pretty cool, and it sounds like, for the most part, Mercury Steam kind of pulled it off.
Oh, I mean, not creating an original game, so that's one thing. But yeah, creating this remake, they did a good job with it.
Yeah, cool. Well,
do you suppose Brad will say the words, Mercury Steam made a good game?
I mean, he's kind of acknowledged on Twitter.
He's definitely
enjoyed what he's
tweeted
played.
about the fact that he's enjoying it.
I mean, I think the consensus from Brad so far has been he's enjoying it, but it's not doing enough.
Yeah, no, and that's what I kind of said. Is it even by the end of the game when it starts doing more? Like I said, it's a little too late in my opinion. Like they should have done more sooner. Like I said, towards the end of the game, like I said, you're fighting 40 Metroids, and like I said, it just gets a little samey towards the end.
Yeah.
But
it could have turned out way worse.
Oh, no, it definitely
cool.
could have, yeah.
I bet this looks really cool in 3D because, like, you have that
that's
vista
what I'm
in the
saying.
background.
So that's some of the best stuff is, like, the 2.5D aspect of it. The stuff going on in the background looks really good when you're playing it in 3D.
Sweet. Is the 3D necessary to, like, find things in the environment?
You can play this entire game in 2D.
Okay.
Most people I've heard from have said that it's better in 3D,
But
which is
yes,
I think is a rare sentiment
3D.
to have about any game on the 3DS. Most people say the 3D is cool, but don't play with it on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to getting some mileage out, not only in the 3DS, but out of actually using the 3D for once.
Totally.
So one more new game to talk about. Chris Davis, you played a game I've been hearing pop up all over the place lately, which seems like it's getting some good buzz. Heat Signature.
Yes, Heat Signature.
This is from the guys that did Gunpoint.
Yeah, Tom Francis, the guy who made Gunpoint.
I think his name's Tom Clancy.
No, it's Francis.
Oh, okay.
You sure?
Well,
sure
I was just going
Davis?
based off the games you play.
That's right. Okay, there we go.
Sick.
Wait,
no,
no,
that's Metroid.
Horrible.
not that one.
He'll find it eventually.
I can't see.
I know. Wait, I can't. Maybe we
The-
should.
the-
The one that's
Some
highlighted.
glasses?
Yeah,
The one
yeah.
that's highlighted says Heat Signature.
There we go.
Okay,
Boom. No, what the?
No, it's not.
Unclick Metroid.
Damn it. Oh, I have it. Okay.
There you go. Okay, now click Heat
There we go.
Signature.
Yeah,
Oh
okay.
my god. We got there.
Yeah.
We got there.
2017. Technology, folks. Woo! All right, what the fuck's Heat Signature?
Okay. Heat Signature is kind of like Hotline Miami in space without the psychosis.
I actually haven't seen footage of this game, so I've
idea-
heard people talk about it.
The idea is that you are kind of a mercenary, or you play as a series of mercenaries working for this liberation front who's trying to liberate this galaxy and take it over. And that's about it.
That's it?
There's not a whole lot of story to this game. It's more gameplay and mechanics driven.
Okay.
But basically what you do is you select a character, they have a starting weapon, a secondary starting item, they have a personal mission they want to go on, and you're sent on these missions or to just go out and do whatever kind of whatever you want out in the galaxy.
But aren't you infiltrating
Once
like
you do,
ships?
you infiltrate ships. You have a personal,
Whoa, is that you like
you have a pod.
flying up behind a ship?
Yeah, you're flying up. You fly up to a ship. You board the ship. You infiltrate it, and you try to take it over or complete an objective on there.
That was that docking sequence was pretty cool.
It's actually it's really intuitive because you'll get near it and the game will detect that that's your mission objective or that's a ship you want to go to, and it will even out your speed to match it.
Yeah.
And then you can slowly adjust.
So
how
you're
you
actually
dock.
you're controlling the ship as you dock it.
Yeah.
And once you're actually on the
talk
ship,
about docking.
When you're on the ship.
it's for people kind of listening at home, maybe can't see the footage. I've been listening to people talk about this on other podcasts, and I had no idea what to picture, and I just didn't look it up because I'm lazy. But like, it looks like a combination of FTL and Hotline Miami, and like you said.
It's kind of like that. But yeah, every
Less
ship
gory.
in this game is procedurally generated. Every one of them is different. There will be some design similarities between the 4 different factions: the Sovereign, the Glitchers, and the 2 others. I forget what they're called. But yeah, all the missions have you going on, finding these ships, boarding them, and completing objectives on them. And it's really just all about strategy of how guards are going to rotate, how you're going to take them out.
What kind of ability? I mean, I'm assuming you don't just shoot things, right? You have actual.
So you have
abilities
melee and guns.
I heard something about teleporting people.
So there's a lot of different tools in the game you can use in addition to just your weapons to take out guards. You have things like the visitor ray, which allows you to teleport to a spot within range and stay there for exactly 2 seconds before you're teleported to the exact same spot again.
Like, you need to teleport you back to where you were before.
Yeah, where you were before.
Okay.
You get things like a swapper, which allows you to swap your position with enemies in the environment. So it can mess with them, and they're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
See, I think that was the ability. I think I heard someone talking about using that ability to like swap people out into space.
You
somehow.
can do that. Well, not the swapper per se, but you can get there's an item, I believe it's called the teleportation trap.
Yeah.
You just lay it on the ground, and when a guard walks over it, they'll be teleported to any spot that you specify.
That's what it
within
is.
a
Okay.
certain range, and you can teleport them out into space.
I feel like if I played this game, I would just do nothing but teleport people into space because that's my sick.
And
idea
it's
of
pretty fun. These maps, they're designed to take maybe 5-10 minutes maximum. Going through clearing the guards and completing your objectives. You can do it entirely pacifist. You can play it entirely kill everyone. At the end of what I usually do is
Let me guess. That's how you're playing it. Are you trying to go pacifist?
There are clauses for contracts that require you to kill sometimes.
Oh, okay.
There are times that you have to do entire ghost missions to where you are never seen, you never hurt anyone, nothing happens, you just complete the objective. And you just go on these randomly generated missions, boarding these randomly generated ships, and complete these randomly generated objectives.
It's everything.
Stop saying randomly generated.
Everything
That's because that's what it is.
Probably procedurally generated.
I mean, whatever.
Same difference.
The scale of the game is kind of cool, considering how much the map zooms in, zooms out.
Yeah, no, I think
but there's not a whole lot else to the game, really.
Yeah.
You're boarding the ships. You're not doing much else. Once you've completed,
Did you finish it?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't think I will. Once you complete a contract, you get points towards your liberation of a new outpost, and when you liberate an outpost, you can you can choose one within range of all your outposts that you can get, and each new outpost can provide a bonus, like it'll unlock the ability to purchase or find armor-piercing weapons, or swappers, or crash beams, which are cool.
Yeah. It looks cool.
There's 5 difficulty levels in the game. There's easy, medium, hard, audacious, and mistake.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is mistake just fucking impossible?
But it's described to be impossible.
Did you play Gunpoint?
Oh yeah, I love Gunpoint.
Okay.
Gunpoint is a great game.
I never touched it.
I really wish that like the quality writing that was in Gunpoint was in this game, but it's really not.
I feel like this is right up Crispy's alley. If you liked Gunpoint and you like space
The game
And Hotline Miami.
and FTL.
the game mechanically
does look
is
cool.
pretty fucking cool, but it's got some like difficulty balance issues.
You also look like an ant.
Well, yeah, you
Yeah,
got
it's really hard to
zoom
tell
in
what's
and zoom
going
out,
on.
and it can be a little hard to. This is a game for ants. I mean, let's be honest.
What
here.
is this, a game for ants?
Yeah, you gotta zoom in and zoom out, and you gotta have to keep it at like a certain distance in order to gauge exactly how guard rotations work and how you can approach an objective. The game can get significantly difficult early on.
Regardless of what difficulty you're playing on?
Well, yeah, I mean, you choose the contract, and each contract has a difficulty level.
Okay.
That's what I mean. There is no like set difficulty level for the entire game.
You just, but you can choose the order, or you can choose which missions or which contracts you take,
Yes,
and it tells you up front what the
they'll have
difficulty
difficulty
is.
levels. Well, they'll also have clauses to where you get a bonus amount of money for what you accomplish.
No, it looks really fucking cool. I love how when you're actually in the ship and you're running around, like you can kind of see along the edges of the ship, like the outside, and you can see them like they're flying through space and stuff in the background.
Yeah, there's just randomly generated ships that are just flying around out there.
Procedurally generated.
Whatever. They're just
I'm
flying
gonna call
around
this
there.
the
You
randomly
can
generated
choose
show just to infuriate no one.
Randomly generated title.
Oh, that's good. God, you should name all our shows.
The problem is
should.
They're all just going to be named randomly generated.
you can have 3 or 4
Number
characters at any
4376.
given time. The real problem with them is that they all have personal missions that you can choose to go out on, but each guy starts out at the same basic level with only like a weapon and maybe an item, and you have to build them up from there. And based on what missions you choose and how much you choose to grind, the difficulty spikes tremendously sometimes.
Yeah.
I've never been able to complete a personal mission for a character. It's never happened, and I'm honestly questioning whether I'll be able to do that.
Probably never will.
Try harder.
You have to. I think you have
Get
to play
good.
very far into the game in order to be able to start to accomplish those, because you have to unlock a bunch of things, and you also have to retire characters. And when you retire a character, there's the possibility that you can have their item or weapon retired.
Sorry, can you bring chat forward real quick to the front?
Okay.
Sorry. Keep going. Keep going. What? Sorry.
Carlos could be lying.
Yeah, it's
I'll
Carlos.
take to the internet.
Hugh Hefner died.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
He was really old.
he was really old. I absolutely believe that.
Plus all that blood going to his dick. Anyway.
What?
Might have had aneurysm. I don't know.
You're killing me.
Yep, he died.
What?
Oh, wow.
Age 91.
Oh, damn. I didn't realize he was that old.
He was that old. Once you've liberated a station, you can also play what's called the Defector mission, in which you get a set character with his set abilities, and he has to go on an audacious mission to complete a certain objective. And these are kind of like boss battles in a way, but it's not that punishing because you can instantly restart, and the ship is completely generated again, completely differently.
Completely fresh.
And you just have to play through it again. And the problem is you get cash as a reward, but that doesn't go to your other characters. It doesn't make sense to me.
Seems odd.
One of the cool things about the game is how you can actually get killed or be knocked out in the game. So yeah, this is one of the glitcher ships. It's designed much more colorful. There's a lot more stuff there, so it's kind of hard to see guards.
Can someone post the community gif of Ben Chang with the tiny piece of paper right now doing that?
Because
I can't fucking see shit.
So here's the thing. So
for
if you
ants,
get
damn
caught and you get knocked out, they take your body and they throw you out the airlock. What you can do is you can remote control your pod to come and pick up your body. And then you can choose to find the ship again, board it again immediately if you want, or you can just abandon the mission and go off and do whatever you want.
That's kind of cool.
Problem is, if you're knocked out with a lethal weapon, you have a bleed out timer, and that bleed out timer is permanent. So the more time you take to rescue yourself, the less time you'll have in the future to rescue yourself if you get knocked out again.
Forever?
Yeah, you can eventually die.
And then
You
Like
may,
Hugh Hefner?
hang on.
So what
one more thing. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
There was one thing, maybe you have already mentioned this, but I've noticed that all of these ships have like cones of light coming off of certain areas of them.
Those are scanners. If you fly the pod into the scanners, and I actually do in this footage, it
Then
will
they're
damage
alerted.
it, and there's like a mini quick time event in which you have to hold together certain parts of your ship in order to stabilize it. Otherwise, your pod may explode and your character will die.
So this part, when you're approaching the ship, you have to avoid those
Or just flying around the ship in
cannon
general.
range.
The events and things that can happen in this game are just so fucking cool. Like there can be instances in which you're flying around and you come across a ship that's being attacked by another ship, and you can board either ship and like defend it or take it or whatever.
Gotcha. No,
There are guards with like all the guards have like specific conditions to them. Like they could be wearing armor, they could be using a sword, they could have a shield. I think it was in the previous mission just now. There were guards that had explosive belts on them.
Yeah.
So they will explode.
How can you see their belts?
Well, they kind of have like an orange shine to them.
How can you fucking
If you-
see them?
I mean, that's the thing. You can't tell from this perspective. This is a game for ants. You got to zoom in.
Then why don't you zoom in?
Because I need to be able to see guard rotation and being able to. It'll be better in the video.
The farther you zoom in, the less vantage point you have less room to see what's around every corner.
Exactly.
and
I
that
understand.
kind of
Exactly.
This is more of a... Can't really see anything now.
But there's so many elements of
Oh, there you
strategy
go.
with that.
He zoomed in.
To where what you can do is, for example, so say there's a guard with an explosive belt in a room with two other guards, and you need to get past them. What you can do, because the explosive belts react and explode based on lethal damage, not non-lethal damage, you can shoot that guard from a distance. He'll explode, and he could either possibly take out those other guards, or he could take out that entire section of the ship, and they get blown into space.
Oh, that's cool.
And that can happen to you too. You can get blown into space and you got to remote back.
That's fucking cool.
Click on that.
I wish there were more games like
Click on
this
that
that let
link,
you
Chris
like
Davis.
destroy
I
actual
need
like
it.
parts of ships.
Thank you, perfect.
There's
You
no
feel
ship
better now,
building.
That's me right now trying to watch this footage.
I knew this was going to come up. I don't know. The game is good. The lack of writing is disappointing coming off of Gunpoint.
Was Gunpoint
I wish
like
there
a,
was a lot more to
was
do. in this game.
Gunpoint like a
Witty game? Yeah.
Yeah, like in the mission briefings, like
Yeah. Gunpoint was pretty interesting writing.
it was pretty funny, pretty good.
well shit. Yeah,
I like
Shit,
it.
Nick.
I don't think I'll complete it. I mean, I've liberated 10 planets. I think I've experienced everything this game has to offer.
10 planets. That's
Or
all it
10
took. you.
stations.
That's all it took.
And there's like the
all
galaxies
you
are even
need.
generated differently each time.
You seen 10 planets, you seen them all.
Pretty much. I think there's like boss outposts that you can liberate, but I'm like, I don't care.
you're not gonna finish this game.
There's not enough in this game to really keep me going.
well, it's
Is
unfortunate.
the
It looks cool.
is
though.
the boss outpost called the boss outpost because you're zoomed out even farther? And just makes
you
it-
actually can't even see the boss.
Well, on the galaxy map,
What is
they're
this,
just
Tetris?
they shine much brighter.
Oh.
You know, that's how you know that I'm supposing they're boss outposts. I don't know. I think the game is good. I wish there was a lot more to do in the game. But yeah, it's I think it's like $15-$20.
Cool.
If you want something that's
Dude,
very
I
mechanics
just want to
friendly,
play a game where you're just
very
docking.
feedback satisfying.
I want to just play. I want to play that docking, their docking mechanic over, and I just
Nick loves docking.
just nothing but docking.
Yeah.
I am into docking.
You
Check
are?
his Google history.
Yeah.
Wow.
He looks
I'm
up
re-
docking a lot.
I'm really into docking.
Oh man, there's two things I've really enjoyed about this game. There's a concussion hammer that you can get that's like a sledgehammer that has a really long dash range for a melee weapon, surprisingly, and a really fast cooldown.
It's just really tiny.
So you hit a guy and he'll go fucking flying across the map. It's so good. And this is only for like the first 2 weeks, I think, of the game that you can find. Like, I think they only have the offer like for a few more days. You can find a freighter that's occasionally just spawns in, and on it in a chest will be what's called the everything gun. What the everything gun will do is it will teleport any item that's within range of you and then shoot it at the enemy.
Oh, that's kind of
So it could be like a wrench or another gun, or
so it shoots
like,
everything. Is what you're saying?
it shoots anything in the environment, everything in the environment, in whatever direction you're shooting, and it's chaotic and it's hilarious.
I like it.
Can
I
it
like
shoot itself?
Don't ask questions like that. We need to move on.
That's like the barrel paradox I've recently discovered about Divinity. Did you hear about this?
I heard about that.
No,
Yeah.
what?
You can take a barrel or any container item in Divinity, and you try to put it in itself, and it will crash the game.
You can,
That's awesome. That might be intentional. That's kind of like if you take a portable hole in a bag of holding and put one in the other, it'll tear a hole in reality.
what? Can you bring chat forward so I
When
can
I
see
did
what
that
people
thing
are
when
saying
Nick was
about
talking
me?
about docking, it made me remember the little weenie. When you put your fingers together and you see the little weenie.
Oh God, does docking mean something?
Yeah.
Yes,
thought
it's a thing.
Did you not know? Look it
No.
up. Look it up.
Google it right now, Nick.
No, I'm not.
I
don't-
demand you Google it
Save-
right
You must
now.
do it
Alright.
right now.
Well, I will do that.
Turn your save search off.
I will do that if we're. I will look docking up an Urban Dictionary if you go ahead and take us into questions from our supporters on Patreon.
Community.
Look it up on Google image
Docking with
search
the
like a man.
community.
And turn off safe search.
So anyway, it's time for the community. Yeah, it's my show with our community, y'all, you people out there we love. No new patrons this week.
No.
That's all right.
By the way,
No.
I think it's worth mentioning. We finally have the mug, which is available to our $15 patrons,
It's pretty cool.
sorted out. I have ordered a sample of it just to make sure it looks good and clean and everything before I start sending it out to our $15 patrons. I should have it by the time I get back in town. So I think it's Monday or so.
That's good.
It looks real dope.
So anyway, here's some questions from our patrons. First question this week comes from Swarly91.
You kidding?
Sorry.
What?
You want to know what docking is?
Sure, Nick,
We know.
tell us all about
we
docking.
know what
we
docking
know.
Oh, I have
Why
no
don't
idea,
you
Nick.
tell us
Why
what
don't
you
I don't
learned?
Tell us.
Why don't you inform
Tell
me,
us what
Nick?
you've learned, Nick.
What is
Docking.
What'd you learn at school today?
And I learned that docking is when two males, one circumcised, one uncircumcised,
Go on.
Reading.
puts their heads together, and the uncircumcised male
Their
rolls his.
heads?
Their heads?
That's what it says. Their heads together, and the uncircumcised male rolls his extra foreskin over the head of the other male's penis.
Oh, interesting.
Docking.
You guys are sick.
But Nick loves docking. He wants a game all about docking.
He's really, really interested in docking.
Somebody's going to highlight that and clip that out. And we're going to have a good time.
That one's
with
gonna
that.
haunt me for a while.
So, Nick, which end of the dock are you?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Why not both?
Are you the coupler or the coupley?
Well, you can literally only be one or the other.
Yeah.
You can't choose.
Nick's uncircumcised. You heard it here first.
I did not say that.
All right, well, patrons, stay tuned after the show. All right, so
4Player
anyway,
Plus.
Swarly asks, one of the most underappreciated aspects of games is user interface, whether it is function or design. What is your guys' favorite UI, UX in games? Some of my favorite in recent years is The Last of Us, which focused on quick and intuitive actions over style, and the Metro series, which went for a... what is that word? Digitek? What?
Duh.
Diegetic?
Maybe it was misspelling. I don't know.
Diegetic?
I don't know. We're gonna have to use the dictionary for
Oh,
that
I
one.
know what that word means. Definitely. I've heard of it before.
I want to
You
get all
guys-
about that.
You guys must be stupid.
I mean, a couple UIs I like.
Hold on, I'm not done reading.
Okay.
Real-time interface that blends perfectly with the game's atmosphere and tension.
I think the Dead Space series is a great
Oh,
job
damn
of
you for bringing up
integrating
Dead
the UI.
Space. I was gonna bring up Dead Space.
You mean
You
the
son of a bitch.
anti-UI?
No, the fact that you could.
I know, but it's an anti-UI. 'Cause it's not really a UI.
Yeah.
It's information disseminated in the world
Yeah.
itself.
But
Okay,
no,
thank you.
it also is a UI because he pulls up his menu and you can go through and do whatever.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like floating there in the world with you.
Honestly, for me,
It's an anti-UI.
it's a UI from a game I've never played, but I've always admired it for its UI. No Man's Sky. I think it has a really fucking crisp
Thank you for
and
bringing
clean,
that up.
clear UI that is really well done. Like I really like that game's UI.
Thank you for bringing that up because I was going to mention Destiny as having a good UI. And No Man's Sky largely just kind of riffed Destiny's.
Oh, really?
That's where that came from. So like a lot of the like the fact like even when you open up menus and you have a cursor that you have to like scroll.
I've never
over
played
things,
either of
man.
the games, so
Yeah. So that was a Destiny thing. I think Destiny did a pretty good job of packaging together their UI. Some stuff gets a little nesting sometimes, like you have to open this to open that to do this kind of thing. But all in all, I think that's the best implementation. Like Carlos says, it's the best implementation of a cursor on console ever.
He also mentions Metro in his question, and I would have to agree with him. I think that's a really great example because, like, everything's like in your
use your watch,
your
track
watch,
time,
like he actually looks at
as well
it.
as the stats of your filter by looking at how much your mask fogs up.
Yeah, that like all that stuff is really cool, and I wish there was more.
I think
anti UI.
I think any game with a like a reactive UI, like Horizon, is a good one. That like when you're in combat, the UI, your
Fades in and
health,
out.
your weapons and stuff comes up, but then as soon as you're out of combat, it just disappears and goes away, and allows you to explore the game unhindered by like big
Absolutely.
fucking boxes.
I always thought Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword had great.
Really good UI.
Actually, I'm
All right, let's move
totally
on. Next
kidding on
question
that
this
one.
week from Mr. Greentoast. From health potions in fantasy games to Medigel and Mass Effect, what are some of your favorite healing systems in games? For example, I love the Metal Gear Solid 3 system where you had to fix broken bones and cuts in order for your health to be fully at max. I actually will agree that Metal Gear Solid 3, while a little tedious for some people, I really liked that health system. The fact that you had to use you have to use a splint, and then you have to use the gel, and then you have to use the wrap. It was almost a little more realistic. I mean, obviously it wasn't realistic because in the middle of combat, you could all of a sudden stop time and go and like bandage yourself up.
Yeah. I've always been. This is not like super like creative. Like maybe that is. But I've just kind of a classic one. Like I've always been a fan of the herb system in Resident Evil. I don't know because it's.
Well, what's cool about that is it's like a light crafting thing.
Yeah, it's light
You can
crafting.
combine different color herbs to make different things.
Yeah, and it just became kind of
Or
like.
combine two of the same color to make them better.
And I'm also just nostalgic for when you find herbs in the environment and like creating like, and also like which one was it? Was it Resident Evil Remake where when you combine them into like the herbs and then you can you spray it on yourself or is yeah.
And Resident Evil 6, it was Tic Tacs.
And kind of picking up philosophically where Resident Evil left off. Breath of the Wild has their whole cooking system.
Oh yeah, dude,
which is really really cool. I mean, some of the the menu's a little clunky, but the stuff that you can do with that and the way it's implemented in gameplay is really really cool.
How the different items create different things.
Of course, as Gamerback mentions, I like
the
Estus system. I mean, I think that's just a cool. It was that's kind of a neat idea. That's kind of unique. I don't know, like it's not food or just I don't know what the fuck it's supposed to be, but it's cool.
It's the essence of life.
I think Far Cry is all.
But it's not just like a red health potion. You know what I'm saying?
I think Far Cry was also kind of interesting. It was more of just kind of
the animation.
Yeah, just like the
starting into
like snapping bones back into place and like digging bullets out of your.
Oh god!
And fucking what was it in Far Cry 2? I mean, Far Cry 2 was like. It started out really cool, like you having to give yourself malaria injections every now and then, and then but after spending 40 plus hours in that game, and I realized I was having to inject myself with malaria because I was starting to I was literally starting to hallucinate, and you as you go on, if you don't heal yourself, you start to hallucinate.
That's cool.
But it was happening like if you don't heal yourself every 5 minutes.
I mean, it's not even hallucinating. It's just like this.
Yeah, I mean,
ugly.
everything gets
like
all kind of
overlay on the screen. That
They could have
terrible.
taken that further. They could have taken that further and done it really cool. But like that was the first time they ever tried anything
All right,
like that.
moving on.
I was gonna say a health system I really like. It's rarely used. Is a segmented regenerating health system. Like it's been used in a couple of character action games like Ninja Gaiden, but also most recently Wolfenstein. Where it would die down to a certain amount, but it would regenerate to like a certain amount.
Yeah, that's nice.
I like those. Those are pretty good.
Oh, that will only regenerate so much unless you do
it
something.
goes up to like 25%.
So it
or
adds an
something.
element of strategy to healing and everything.
I will say any RPG, and if you don't gain all your health back when you level up, the game's fucking bullshit. like Persona 5.
I know we want to move on, but I got one more really quick mention. Divinity Original Sin 2. Undead characters can be healed with poison. That's kind of cool. I kind of like that.
Sure, why not? Arxidus asks, what is the largest string of coincidences you can remember happening to you or anyone you know? That's a tough question.
String of
A bunch of
coincidences?
coincidences.
What a fucking...
You mean like when I pre-ordered Hob and then got a review code for it the
That's
next
not a
day?
coincidence. That's just...
I mean, that's just the
I know
first thing
what
that
you
popped
mean.
into my head.
That's tough.
That's really hard.
Wait, read the question one more time,
No.
please.
What is the largest string of coincidences you can remember happening to you or anyone you know?
Running into Crispy randomly in a different state and completely in the same hotel.
Okay, because that was 3 in a row. Because it was like, oh, I'm in Pittsburgh. What's going on? You're like, I'm in Pittsburgh. And you're like, okay, well, what hotel are you staying in? Maybe I'll come by and visit you. And I'm like, oh, I'm at this hotel on campus. I'm staying in that hotel. Oh, my God. And then I was like, what floor are you on? And he's like, 3rd or something. And I'm like, I'm on 5th. And we're like, oh, well, only 2 for 3, but whatever.
And then, like, within 2 minutes, I'm on the phone with him, and he just knocks on the door. I answer the door. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, my God.
That was weird. That was
really
weird.
I don't think I've had any like big coincidences like that happen to me. I can think of, at least I can remember.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Cobra, what is everyone's most shameful experience of you or somebody else cheating in a video game?
I don't fucking cheat.
Shameful
I don't
experience.
cheat in video games.
I'm not ashamed of
I don't
cheating.
have shame. Like that.
I don't feel shame at all. No, I can't even.
I can tell you an instance in which I was absolutely shameless. It's called TIE Fighter.
Microphone.
What? It's-
Microphone.
Way too far.
It's
from
right
my face.
here. I'm
Now it is.
Yes.
Before it was not.
TIE
Sorry.
Fighter.
What'd you
TIE
do?
Fighter
The
is
classic TIE Fighter.
It's an incredibly difficult game.
stupid difficult.
Like, it's stupid difficult. You have to play with cheats in order to play that game.
Yeah.
At minimum, you have to have either shields or you have to have, like, infinite ammo.
Is someone bringing up
That's
screen
so
cheats?
weird that that's not even a thing in the game normally.
Yeah.
Like infinite ammo for your fucking laser guns.
The final mission in the game has you dropping out of a Star Destroyer into a massive battle. And if you don't have cheats on, you will be dead within 5 seconds. That's how it runs.
I can't remember if I ever played that. It sounds familiar, but
This is an old PC game, so probably not.
It's a
what's that condescension I sense in your voice?
The only
By the way, I
time-
probably cheated like crazy in GoldenEye.
There are plenty of games that I've kind of done things that are kind of cheating, glitches to get infinite something or another, but I don't really feel shamed. I mean, I guess the only time I felt bad that I quote cheated in a game was in TF2 before there were hats. You had to get so many like kills and stuff like that to unlock certain weapons and stuff, and I went on like a server that was designed to let you. Get,
Oh yeah, back when they were doing
Like,
the
giant-
drop system could be exploited like super easily.
Yeah, and I did that, and I did feel a little bit bad about that. But I usually don't really feel bad. And someone in chat brought up screen cheating when playing like something like GoldenEye and stuff. But for me, like if anyone's never played the game Screen Cheaters, I guess
No, it's just called Screen Cheat.
Screen Cheat. That's a great fucking game, and if you don't know about it, it's essentially you can't see anyone else.
So you have
unless
to-
you're looking at their screen.
So you literally have to screen cheat
Yeah,
to play,
Yeah.
which
It's a
was
pretty good game.
quite good.
Using Green Arrow and Injustice.
plus. I mean,
Fuck that, using Sinestro in the first Injustice. Oh my god.
half the fucking NES library, just for how difficult those fucking games were. You need a
All right,
game
we
changer.
still got several more questions. Let's hurry up. Umos asks, "Hey guys, what are your thoughts on Blade Runner 2049 and the shorts they've released leading up to the premiere? Are you planning on seeing it opening night?" So we actually did talk about this a little bit before the podcast.
Yeah. So I actually watched the first 2 shorts today. There's one with Jared Leto, one with Dave Bautista. Both were actually really good, like really well produced, really well acted, really intriguing. I'm actually really interested in seeing more of Jared Leto's character in that movie. After seeing the short, I haven't watched the third one, which is the animated one from the director of Cowboy Bebop, but I'm going to.
Yeah.
I am super excited. Not to mention,
I'm
like,
very excited.
It's getting ridiculous praise. Like, review embargoes, notwithstanding, because the embargo's not lifted yet. But they were, the press who have seen it, they were allowed to tweet about it, which is kind of a weird thing that happens these days.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Holy shit!" like the way people are describing it is making it sound like a lot of people walked into that theater thinking it was better than the first one. Which
I mean, a lot of people are saying like the best sci-fi movie I've ever seen.
yeah, and like
Which is fucking intense.
I don't know what to think, but I can tell you that my hype level is kind of rising,
Yeah.
pretty fast for that movie.
I'm super really nervous. I fucking love Blade Runner.
No, I mean
I just don't.
It's a great movie.
It like the idea of following up Blade Runner seems really tricky, especially so far after the fact.
Yeah. It's been a while.
And the only other thing, I haven't been watching too many trailers or anything because I just
I've only
want
seen the
to.
first one.
Yeah. The one thing I'm noticing is that like at least a lot of what they're featuring in the trailers doesn't really like smack of neo-noir
Okay,
No,
in the cinematography.
so the second short I watched today, specifically the one with Dave Bautista, he's actually, this might not be what you're talking about, but the environment that he's walking around in and interacting with reminds me, it looks like it's ripped straight out of the original Blade Runner with Harrison Ford when he's at the diner.
No, what I'm not talking about when I say neo-noir, I mean more like the cinematography of it.
Yeah.
Like the lighting of it, it seems to be lit more like a sci-fi action movie than like a noir film.
Yeah.
Like there's not a lot of I don't know. I don't remember seeing any shot that was like crazy like contrast or anything like harsh lines.
The one with Dave Bautista it looks way more like the original Blade Runner than the other one I watched. But one thing I will say is everything that I have seen so far, like even if it's not the same from a cinematography standpoint, looks like, I think it looks like a beautiful movie in terms of the way it's shot,
does.
even if it's not the same style.
And one of the things I will say, one of my favorite things I've seen of Blade Runner, what is it?
2049.
2049 is the Red Letter Media interview video they did.
I haven't watched it.
Where Rich Evans is interviewing for the part of.
He's going out audition.
Yeah,
auditions
for what's his face?
Ryan
Gosling's role, and they kind of he just makes the same like bland face. And I didn't realize it until I rewatched the trailer that Ryan Gosling, and I think it's just the scenes they chose for the trailer is making like the same face in every scene.
Yeah.
Like this deadpan.
There's
kind of
no
just-
emotion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I
That
just thought
could
it was
be
like-
intentional.
No, and I don't think it's probably not going to be like that in the movie. But it just all the scenes they chose is just kind of him staring. Off.
Yeah. Also, I will say this: the director of that movie did Arrival.
That's a pretty good movie. I liked Arrival.
Denis Villeneuve. I can't. It's a French name. I can't pronounce it very well, but he I loved it.
Isn't it Dave? Ha ha ha.
Damn it, Nolan. But yeah, I absolutely fucking loved Arrival. So I'm pretty excited to see. And I think he did another movie too recently that was
I don't
well
know.
praised. But
I'm
yeah,
not
I'm
up on
super.
my-
Just with his name involved alone, I think it looks. I think. It
All
looks
right, moving
great.
on. Still more questions. 10-minute break. Destiny 2 has poured so much money into advertising, man hours,
Oh, he did Sicario.
and made a huge hype for the game. But in your opinion, why is it vastly inferior to Divinity?
That's a leading question.
I've never played either of the games, and I probably won't.
The
play
only
either
person
of
here
them
qualified to
because
answer
they
that
are
question
time sucks,
is Crispy.
and I won't let myself get into another time suck.
Who asked that?
10-minute break.
Oh yeah.
He was starting shit in the Discord. The
Yeah, I've
other
been
day.
seeing him in Discord. He seems like a real prick.
part.
All right,
He was starting.
Hashtag long
He
neck
was starting
elves.
shit about Metal Gear Solid 5 in
Next
Discord
question
today.
from Zero Skies. What two game titles would you mix together to make a fused game? For example, I would put Neo and Ni no Kuni together to make Neo Kuni.
Oh,
That's tough.
dude, I don't. That's like the kind of question like you don't just unless you have an answer just like ready to
Yeah.
go.
Onimusha and Ni no Kuni.
No, you
Onikuni?
can't combine everything with Ni no Kuni. Wait, how are you gonna combine?
Metal
Onikuni.
Gear Souls.
No.
No.
Metal Gear Souls game?
No.
I like how they didn't even try to combine Mario and Rabbids. They literally just did Mario plus Rabbids with a plus.
See, now we're just looking at your rack of games here and just thinking.
I'm gonna go ahead and. Oh man, I don't know. Oh my god, that
Dragon Age and Dragon's Dogma to make Dragon Dogma.
you're an
Just
idiot.
singular dragon.
Yeah.
Dragon
There's just
Dogma.
one dragon.
That's the
Dragon
only
Dogma.
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing on that one.
There's a cynical fuck part of me that wants the last of Assassin's Creed.
Red Dead Batman.
Shut up. No.
Didn't they do a Batman
Although
Western?
Cowboy Batman. Whoa.
Oh my god, guys, this is not how. This is like the example he gave in his question was far more creative than any of the answers we're
This is
giving.
why maybe we should
He
go
had
over those
time.
before the show.
He had time, Nick.
There was time now.
Assassin's Singularity.
Rhyme splitters.
Ooh.
I don't know what that game was.
Fuck
right,
all of
let's
you.
move on.
By the
Fine,
way, that
fine.
director did Sicario and Prisoners, and I don't know if y'all have seen Prisoners, but Prisoners is also an excellent movie. I like that director a lot. I never
Can't
saw
think of
anime.
Sicario and not think of that one guy.
Which guy?
The partner. I don't know. I don't remember his name. What was the? What's her?
What?
Emily Blunt, right?
Yeah.
Her partner.
Oh,
Left for Bread.
Oh, there you go.
there we go.
That's
Thank
pretty
you.
good.
Left
Pretty
for
good
Bread.
one. We can end on that now.
Final question from SMG Sterling. What is the best flavor of potato chip?
Jalapeno. Oh wait, potato chip?
Yes. What did you think?
Beyond just...
I was just thinking of chips.
Yeah, beyond just classic. Maybe...
Barbecue?
Salt and vinegar.
I'm a big fan of sour cream and onion myself.
Barbecue, I also like the cracked pepper chips.
I'm not a fan of barbecue, honestly. Barbecue chips, I've never really
I
done
don't
it
think
for
I'm a
me.
big fan of potato chips in general. I like jalapeno chips by default. That's like my 100%. If there's potato chips or jalapeno chips, I will always choose
Jalapeno's
jalapeno.
good.
What are
Salt and
those?
vinegar's good.
What are those ruffles that are only available outside the U.S.?
There's a lot.
Like the
There's dozens.
starts with an R, I think.
Ridges.
No, it's,
Rectum.
Rectum chips.
somebody will know in
ridges do
chat.
rectum.
Oh god.
Greek Euro Lays.
Greek Euro Lays.
God.
there-
Dude, some of those Lay's flavors are just...
Dude, yeah. When I
awful.
was in Europe, every time I came across a weird flavor, I always tried it. None of them were the
They're like
best.
rusted, or they're like rushed,
Rusty Brown's ring
I was waiting
donuts.
to say it. I agree with Reborn. I am not a big fan of salt and vinegar chips.
Oh, so good.
Fuck all y'all. It's all about
So good.
jalapeno.
I do like kettle chips. For me, it's I also often like when restaurants do their own in-house chips.
Dude, Plucker's chips are still dope as shit.
And I know most people in the U.S. don't have Pluckers.
Did you know
It's-
Pluckers does tater tots now?
I didn't know that.
Oh my god.
They've done tater tots for a long time.
But essentially,
I
it's
haven't
just,
been in a
you know,
while, I
potatoes sliced pretty thin, not as thin as most potato chips, but then fried. And you always ask for them to fry them extra crispy.
Cook them to a crisp.
Yeah, and they're fucking crunchy and good.
Yeah.
All right. That is all the questions this week. Thank you to our patrons. Every week we post a thread where you can ask us any question you would like.
Yep.
As you can see, we had a wide variety of questions this week. Feel free to check that out when the thread goes up. I did also want to say that starting next week, well, particularly next week, we're going to kind of give away some games during the show, during the break of the show.
Got some codes to give away during the break.
Next week, it's going to be for Mages of Australia, a game I talked about maybe 4 weeks ago on the show.
Yeah.
It just came out, I think, about a month ago, because we got some codes from the developer saying celebrating the game's 1 month of release. Really good game. We're going to be giving out 2 codes for that next week on the show during the break, so be sure to tune in next week for a chance to get a code.
Be here for possibly a free game, which was pretty cool.
Well, it's definitely a free game.
Yep.
You might possibly get it.
You might,
It's not
yeah.
possibly free.
You can't all get codes. All right. So let's wrap this bitch up. 4-player minute. 4-player minute. Who's gonna start us off? Crispy? You ready?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll just fucking cowboy it. My hype is for, you know what? I don't care. Star Wars Battlefront 2. It's coming up. And seeing more about it. I'm getting in a Star Wars mood. Don't make that face at me, Chris Davis. Don't suck your goddamn teeth at me. Okay?
My only
I
problem
can't wait.
with this is like the 37th trailer of the game, and they've released like 30 seconds of campaign footage.
I don't care.
I also in the same boat.
That
What the
worries
fuck?
me.
I don't care. Fuck you guys. My sweat for this week goes to Divinity Original Sin 2. Not because I'm not enjoying it, but because I keep getting this like weird feeling in the back of my mind as I'm playing it that like the more I play it, the more I feel like, man, this would be fucking 10 times more dope if I was playing with like other people, you know? Like I think there's something about a party working together, but not everyone, not any one person being in control, that adds an element of chaos and an element of surprise to any social or combat situation in a game like Divinity, which is very much based off of, tabletop RPGs that are kind of heightened by that group aspect. I think if I was playing this co-op with other people, and like I mean, even if it, like, ideally, if it was 4-player co-op, if there was 4 people in the party and each person was being controlled by a different player, I think that would be amazing. I think that is a recipe for some, like, wonderful emerging moments, like the kind of stuff that sticks with you long after you've forgotten how sharp the game's mechanics are,
Yeah.
I don't know. My fuck you for the week goes to...
When all else fails, just another hype.
It's I don't know if this is really a fuck you, but this is more of like a kind of disappointment that sucks, worrisome kind of thing. But the Volition layoffs, coming in the wake of Agents of Mayhem underperforming. Agents of Mayhem wasn't a fantastic game, but it was pretty cool. And it had some neat ideas, and it had some good spirit to it, and it would have been something that would have been really cool to see grow and develop. But I imagine that the odds of that happening are very, very, very slim now that they went about firing, like, well, I mean, it was a bunch.
I think it was 20 or 30 people.
It was a bunch of people, including some, like, pretty high up folks.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's not uncommon after a game launches. It just sucks in this situation because we don't know if it does have to do with the underperformance.
But that game did underperform.
Oh yeah, it definitely did.
I don't think they marketed that game particularly well either.
They definitely did not.
They didn't. The most marketing I ever saw was at E3, and it was like 2 dudes just being like, "Hey, take this shirt." That was it.
It was being marketed in the Square Enix
Agents of Mayhem.
booth.
I think I've heard that before.
They definitely didn't push it like Saints Row.
Yeah.
So.
My thank you for the week goes to nobody.
You're welcome. All right,
all of you guys. I love you guys. Thank you.
4-player minutes starts now.
You're welcome.
My hype is for Steamworld Dig 2. I definitely want to be playing that game more. Like I said, I guess a regret kind of tied to that hype is I didn't get it on Switch, which means I'm kind of limited and I can only play it on my computer. But definitely hyped to play more of that. Enjoying it a lot. I have another hype, which is actually for Hob. I started those 2 games yesterday or maybe Monday, and I've just been enjoying the shit out of both of them. They're both really good. They both have good... I like the art style of both of them. They're very different, but they're very unique. The music in both of them, the gameplay, like, I'm excited to play those games some more. Which kind of ties me into my sweat, in that over the weekend, kind of trying to relax from getting back from my trip, I started playing Persona 5 again, and god damn it. I played that game for probably 8 hours of the weekend. It feels like I got nothing done, just in the grand scope of the game.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed every fucking moment of it, especially the music, and it's just frustrating because I do want to finish that game, but everyone I've talked to is like, oh yeah, like 200-something hours, and I'm like, god damn it. And then my fuck you goes to myself, for not realizing until last night that I never finished the original Steamworld Dig. I can't believe I didn't finish that game. I liked it so much. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. But hey, now I got another game on my 3DS I get to play.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Chris Davis.
My first hype this week is for A Hat in Time. It comes out next week after 4 years in development. I played the alpha several years ago. I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing how the final product works out. Especially the music, because Grant Kirkhope did like 11 tracks for it, I think.
Yeah.
My second hype this week is for Wolfenstein: The New Colossus. That just... Bethesda and ZeniMax are just ramping up the marketing for that, and it just keeps getting better. But I'm on a fucking blackout, because after playing that first level, I want to go in blind and enjoy every moment of it. My first fuck you goes to Warner Brothers Interactive for this entire Shadow of War DLC controversy bullshit. Mm-hmm. I don't know if y'all have heard about this, but
Yeah,
there was a developer that died on the project. Monolith decided to immortalize him as an orc nemesis in the game, and they were selling him for $3.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And the funds were supposed to go to the developer's family, but only if you bought it in certain states.
Which they didn't really mention very well.
Yeah,
No.
we actually talked about that a few weeks ago on the show, but
and they finally
shady.
decided to just take it off sale, make it free for everyone, and they'll just give them just straight
they'll make
cash.
a donation to the
Yeah.
family.
But fuck them for that. That's just fuck them in general.
I can't believe there was
all of the logistics behind that. I don't know if it had to do something with maybe those particular states where it wasn't. Maybe there might have been some legal issue with like taking the money and donating to someone else, but they should have been upfront about it.
I mean, here's the thing: it didn't have to be DLC at all. It could have just been a character in the game. Like the fact that even ever came up as something they could potentially charge money for seems really like rocky. Like you know,
it's a little weird.
And my second and final fuck you of the week goes to Deep Silver over the Volition layoffs and not giving Ages of Mayhem a good fucking marketing budget. Because last year at E3, it had a big permanent meeting room with like 30 different kiosks to try out the game. And this year, there were like 3 kiosks in the Square Enix booth. You didn't give the game a fucking chance.
Maybe
Fuck y'all.
someone higher up at that company saw the writing on the wall and was like, I don't think any amount of money we throw at this is going to help.
And that's the thing is, even if they would have pimped it more, that wouldn't have made the game better. It still just wasn't as good as we had hoped it was going to be. Which, like Nick was saying, maybe they had kind of saw that coming and they were like, let's not waste the time and money on what. I don't know. In my opinion, if they had spent so much time and money to pimp the game more, that kind of would have been a shittier thing to do because at that point they already knew it wasn't going to be as good as they hoped. I had high hopes when Chris and I played it at E3 last year.
Yeah.
I had really high hopes for the game. I enjoyed what I played, but it just didn't turn out to be as great as it could have been.
For sure. All right.
Suck.
I have 2 hypes and 2 sweats. My first hype is for Oxenfree. Actually, I'm going to give it to Oxenfree and Steamworld Dig 2. Both games are on the Switch. Oxenfree is actually just today was announced to be coming out on the Switch next week on the 6th. So I'm very much looking forward. It seems like a perfect game to play on the go, like even something to like lay in bed and play, which I'm super looking forward to playing that. My second hype is going to go to Blade Runner 2049. We've been talking about that. Like I said, I've been kind of keeping my eye on people's reactions to it so far, and just a little that I've picked up and seen the trailers and the shorts have all done their job and got me pretty excited for it. So I'm really, really hoping that's as good as everyone seems to be saying it is. My first sweat is actually for the Chinese Room, the studio who did Dear Esther and Amnesia: Machine for Pigs, and
Everyone's Gone to the Rapture.
Everyone's Gone to the Rapture. They
To
have
the Rapture, or Everyone's Gone to Rapture?
Everyone's gone to the Rapture.
Well, there was the in the name?
It was the.
Yeah, to the Rapture. They are. It's weird. Like this is a weird situation. They're not closing the studio, but they are going into hiatus. Like they said they're going dark.
Yeah.
For a few months. And I think they even laid some people off in preparation for this hiatus. And there's been talk about them even like being tired of making the kinds of games that they're making. They're known for kind of pioneering the walking simulator style of game.
They've also said that they already announced 2 games. They said that those games are going to come out.
Yeah. So I mean, that's why this is not a studio closure. It's literally just them
trying to save money.
They're downsizing and they're
It was actually
going quiet.
everybody's gone to the Rapture.
You piece of shit. Anyways, my personal favorite project of theirs was Amnesia: Machine for Pigs. I think they did a really good job with that, and I like what they've done with other games too. I just hope they don't. I hope they're able to do something more creative that gets them excited again about what they're working on, so that we get to continue seeing them put stuff out. So, who knows what's going to happen there? And my last sweat is I picked up the Fallout 4 Game of the Year edition because I really want to play Fallout 4. Finally, and my sweat is that I am
He only played a
mildly
little bit of it.
uncomfortable playing Fallout 4, a game about nuclear war, with all this weird North Korea shit going down. It's making me a little...
It's a pretty good game, Nick.
Yeah, it's a pretty good game. It's just getting all a little too real, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Also, we're 33 days until I send out the email.
Shut the fuck up, Chris Davis. Oh my god. No.
Yes.
No, you're not going to get a response to that email until December. Anyways, Chris Davis is once again reminding us of the Game of the Year email he sends out on the same day every single year. Go to hell.
To get everybody started.
Oh, I've started.
Because I don't want to make these until March.
My list starts the first moment I play a game in a year. As of today, I have finished 18 games this year.
It's pretty good.
That's good.
Not all of them came out in 2017, but
Oh, that's bad.
I mean, 4 of them came out other years. Anyways, I think that's it. That's our show this week.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Of course, you can watch us broadcast games every single night over at 4pp.tv. We'll be doing this again next week. We'll be back in our usual time slot, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to be pushing it back to 8:30 now, just because since we've moved to Nolan's, it seems like it's going to be. It just makes more sense to try and start at 8:30 instead of 8.
You're just too far away.
You're just too far away.
Y'all just drive too slow.
Maybe.
In 5:30 traffic, yes, we drive too slow.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. 4playernetwork.com. If you want to support us, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/4player. You can also find us on Discord at discord.gg/4player. But that's it. Thanks for listening. We will catch you guys next week. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.